Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Yesterday, we seen sheer dominance from some of the teams, and this day is redemption time for those who need to catch up. This is Call of Duty Mobile Garena September Cup 2025 Battle Royale. On the desk, I am Neptune the Gentleman Garcia, joined by the one and only Super Clark.
Good evening, everyone. It is definitely true that we saw dominant the teams are, especially the overall rankings that we shown yesterday. The four kings and the Rigid Esports for the Group A and for the Group B.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've seen so much of battle. They have gathered a lot of elimination as well as placement point. And you did mention about Rigid Esports as well as Four Kings because they are top of the board right now when it comes to the groupings. We're going to see a preview of that later on. But then again, we want to see some of the teams. I know there are a few more brands, a few more teams that want to show even more today, but probably just day one jitters that happened yesterday. That's one reason that is that's possibly one reason why they didn't make a point yesterday. They have four chances to make it today, or four chances to make it for the group stages. See if they'll be able to follow through for today.
More chances of winning today. So I like that idea because if you're part of that, you're not able to perform yesterday, this is another chance for you to perform. Where Neptune is saying already that you still have a lot of chances, and tell you more about the champion from the registration, the rounds, and we are now at the group stage from yesterday until September 12, followed by the playoffs and the finals on 26 and 27.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm really excited on how things are going to end up after 4 days of the group stages because only the top four teams will be qualifying onto the playoffs. And onto the playoffs, though we have 20, only 16 teams will be heading to the grand finals. But in a bit, we're going to see as well what is in store for the teams because though we have talked about the roadmap on how it is, but some of the viewers out there might be new to broadcast right now, might not understand that the qualifiers happen between 400 plus teams, and we only gathered the cream of the crop, only 40 teams out of all of that. And this is why they are fighting and being dominant at this point, because the prize pool is no joke. A total of 25,000 US dollars, wherein the champions will be getting 10,000 US dollars, 5,000 for the second, 4 for the third place, 3,000 for the fourth place, and 2,000 for the fifth place, and sixth place will be getting 1,000 US dollars.
And that's a lot of money. So that's why it's clear understandable that we are seeing all of the teams clearly dominating, giving all of their best to make sure that they will have an entry to the finals. And speaking of the finals, definitely we're talking about how are they going to be part of the grand finals. If this is the rule that we have, tiebreaker rules, if two or more player teams are tied for the most points at the end of the match or the group stage or the finals, the following criteria will be applied further until the tie is broken.
Yeah.
So victory blitz format, first team that can get that wins will be have a chance to be declared as champion once they manage rank at number 1.
Yeah, definitely. And just in case it doesn't happen and they have been denied of getting that victory, it will be leading to the rankings, and those are the number one with the most number of points would be declared the champion. And this is one thing that I love as well, because it would give the teams as well a chance for more like going back to the basics on how Battle Royale is.
Right.
It's not just about getting all those elimination. You know how it is, the prestige of being number one in every match. But right now, we're going to see who is or who was number one from yesterday's game from Group A, and it is the Four Kings with 78 points, I believe. 78 points, and Leap Unbound follows through with only 48 or 49 points. So that is a huge lead being taken by Four Kings right now. 29 points in total, and those who follows like Rigid Phoenix only 4 points away. OBS Main would be 10 points away from Leap, and it's very, very close as you can see, and it's easy to switch that later on onto the games.
Your math is getting better, brother Nep.
My eyesight is not though.
Good. Yeah, and speaking, knowing the math, we will be seeing how we going to have a math computation of the overall rankings for the Group B. As you can see right here, Rigid Esports, Rigid TSG is on top with 82, followed by IEX with R Kings Overload. I'm gonna tell you the difference of the gap.
I can tell you.
Teams.
I
There
can
you
tell
go.
you.
I'm gonna give that to to brother Neb, yeah, who's really
Yeah.
having a better math.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I love second day, because we have most of the data, we have a preview of what the team's going to offer, and Rigid is 7 points ahead of IEX Seduce. Even Blackfire needs a little bit more because they didn't get any victory at this point. It was VV Vitas who managed to grab one victory from yesterday, and they are only 4 points behind Blackfire. And comparing to Group A, there's still a little bit of difference, a little bit of gap, where in shuffle for the top 5 would be different. But there's not so much a focus on being the top 5. It's more of maintaining of being the top 10, because that is the qualifier for the team to head over to the knockout stage. But right now, same story goes, Clark. We are going for the same map, the same set of groupings, and hopefully a different kind of gameplay.
Different kind of gameplay indeed, because this is another day, another start, another reset, and this is the map that we'll be playing for tonight. Map isolated, blackout, and isolated. So it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be crazy because they had some experience already on attack their opponents. So I think they talk about a lot what happened on yesterday, and some of the teams need to go back to the drawing board so that they can talk to, so that they will be able to rack up a lot of kill points.
Exactly. I mean, as an analyst for Battle Royale, as well as a previous coach for the same mode, I really anticipate that some of the teams right now had spent so much time from yesterday after the matches, or probably early today, to watch some VODs where the teams would be rotating, or the other teams would be rotating, especially in those that they feel that they can challenge all throughout the map, because that is one way that they can get a lot of elimination points as well as survive a little bit longer. And for some of the teams who didn't spend that much time, they will be just going on pure instinct at this point, how their rotation is, just anticipating who would be going against them. But since they, or if they don't know how the other teams would be rotating, they wouldn't find out whether it is the Four Kings or Rigid TSG that they will be going against. And we've seen how well they are in the 4v4s, even on the third party, or those other teams third partying them, they can still manage to survive. So that's the key factor for the teams right now. A reason as well why we had extended group stages at this. Teams would have more chances to identify all those mistakes and correct them overall to have a better chance to get into the knockout stage.
So it the start is very important for the 4 days of matches. I should be expecting a lot of improvement, a lot of great progress for the teams who's not able to perform. Just like Neptune is talking about earlier, the flank, the third parties, whatever works, right? And for me, the most important thing, since you guys know already the play styles of your opponents, why not surprise them? Like, they don't expect that you guys are coming, and that way you'll be able to connect and get more
definitely.
kills.
I mean, that is one key factor as well. I mean, unorthodox gameplay is not something new in Call of Duty Mobile, especially in Battle Royale, and that is what we want to see right now. But I believe we are off to start our first game. Once again, this is Group A for day number 2, and let's see which team we dominate at this point. Straight in the middle of the map from north to south is our flight path. You can see a lot of spread already for the teams, and by this day I would be expecting that some teams would be shifting their drop spot overall, so they don't have to deal with the same teams that they dealt with from yesterday.
Oh, I like that. They really need it. Only means that they learned a lot, and they wanted to change, and not really something that their opponents know what you can do or what's your map, so that you can do a lot of surprises just like
Yeah.
this one. We saw already that somehow the Leap trying to surprise their opponents, but not able to really confirm that kill. Right trading. So let's see how it goes. Right now, we start on the group. I mean, on the round one. So I don't see any KOs yet, but getting a lot right away for the Leap and Bound.
Yeah, I mean, 4 elimination already for Leap and Bound, and I believe their target was LE Atheris, and they did drop in onto Nuke Town or Nuke Plant. This is one of the favorites, especially of a lot of potential loot that you can get, as well as that buy station. But we've also seen a few of those hot dropping, I believe, in downtown, or if not, somewhere around the docks, wherein two teams haven't engaged that much, or that much just yet. And compared to yesterday, I believe this difference I'm seeing right now, there's not so much in the kill feed compared to yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was so scrappy, and we even don't know where to look at. Now, everyone has privilege of getting all those loots, even in New Vision City where Yonko Apex is, and they don't have that much in terms of contention. So I'm loving how everyone has a better chance to start off their gameplay.
That's a good point. Because experience that they had yesterday, it only means that planning to get the W at the end. So that's really a good attitude, a good behavior that we are seeing right now from any other teams, because aggression is one, but if that aggression gives you a lot of, not winning positions, why not change it? So that's the one that we are seeing right now from all of the teams.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, we are seeing a little bit of elimination coming from Hyper Vivre Esports. Take a few players from F8G. Now, let's see as to where they will be positioned at this point. I think it's more of just the stragglers from F8 at this point, and Nico is one of those. Not, I'm sure he will be sighted, but no! Into the corner he goes. He was stealthy overall, but I think like one player from I managed to see one. Nico takes down Fonazzi, and here comes the rest of the gang going to rush in. Shockwave will not hit anyone, and Nico managed to survive. Potential backstab might be happening, but will he survive and take down one? A knockdown has happened. Kiesayo is a little bit late into the party and needs to go away, otherwise he will join them in the gulag.
Joining into the gulag from one of their teammates. Great trade happened from that last two teams that we saw, but Nico earlier, oh my god, it's kind of like he is definitely invisible because his opponent not able to see that coming. And talking about not able to really have battle, and it keeps on losing for any close fight. That's one key in winning fight. Just and looking at it, this is a 1v1 situation in a gulag. Oh my god, Fawn and C getting the W, and we will be seeing some other great players from the happening carefully, getting a lot of resources sure that they can start attack.
Yeah, I mean, Fonazzi has managed to get his revenge, not on Nico, but at least one of the players coming from F8. And I believe that as Hao Xiao, who he has taken over or taken down at this point. Now, into Black Market we go. It is going dark at this point, and FD would need a little bit of insight as to where the opponents are. I believe there are a few in there, thus a little bit slow down on their movement. But for Alexis Vicious, they do have one dog tag in the ground. A buyback might be happening at this point, and they have a point of exit. But no, there goes a takedown coming from Rigid at this point, and all points covered by Rigid. They want to grab those points, and Bry receiving a lot of damage, losing all those armors, and backstab on Indra might be potential, but Maki right now goes for the spray in through the smoke, and Rigid, I believe, has taken down Malicious Vicious at this point.
That's a key. Really patient, know where to go. They know when to attack. The outcome worth it. To surprising them and not they got, as we can see right now, and they have a lot of cash as well. So it only means that they might have a chance to buy their Arsenal as early as now. our second zone if they can, and they are really on fire.
Yeah, definitely an on fire indeed. A lot of teams has managed to get a few of those elimination, but some has also receiving a few of knockdowns against themselves as well. So this is where we are seeing that evolution from the team. Some teams are moving a little bit better compared to yesterday, even against Leap Unbound. It seems like they're like Leap Unbound is not untouchable anymore. A little bit of hack or using that ice pick from Burn to spot out any potential target, but I think MJ and Void managed to take down one with grenades, and they will stack up onto 7 elimination for the sets.
One thing I like from Leap and Down, not really rushing in, and I'm seeing some great position, but right now 4 Kings is also out there rotating, penetrating that build. Great movement, misdirection, connects to few shots, cracking out that vest, but still his Void is on the ground and into the great job from so far, and they're showing a lot of aggression going on to the roof, high ground advantage. Let's see how they are in using that advantage for all of the Leap and Bound players to get away and go back into the clear. I don't see that any player from Leap and Bound.
Yeah, it seems like they were able to eliminate them, and they are in the gulag. And great gameplay as well as position. Dominating that rooftop, getting information from oversight, and then the rest of the teams are just going in on a 1v1 or 1v2, but Hajime goes in for a takedown, going out or putting out probably a nade or just shooting at the vehicle, and left Hype down on the ground. Now, let's see if Black will be spotted at this point. Only 3 players from Fabe would be playing, but they need to be careful as well, because once a few teams, especially full squad, will be able to go in against them, then that might be the loss for them. But Hajime has been spotted. Black right now trying to run away, no shots onto him, and still has a little bit of armor to play with up close and personal. There goes the shockwave, but Black was able to confirm 2, and Hajime goes in for 4 elimination just by himself, where the rest of the teams are just hanging back in gulag. Says, okay guys, just chill, win your fight, and I can bring the prestige to the team.
I can do this. That's the message that Hajime set out to his team. Kills right, so you know V4 right now he is moving on to a different just pave, but checking out the teams already from the 4 Kings, and because that the only player alive right now and not moving any muzzle at all, and that's the only thing that he can do, because if he is being found by the 4 Kings, it might be the end game for him.
It looks like it. If that is the case, though, he would need to be careful. But speaking of being careful, Karma right now not really going in for the hit, as we are going for cover. But let's see on how well they can work out outside blue.
Oh, this is one that we were talking about earlier. They're outside of the zone, and I don't think Mag Glass will be used for the second day of the group stage. But looking at it, Phoenix. So J, that's your LE 8th wrist right now, trying to position and be ready. And just like that, Shockwave being activated. And here we go, 1v1 knocked out on the ground from the rigid Phoenix. And so far, we players into the gulag.
Yeah, I mean, only 2 remaining for LE at this point. Chi and Sairi, and Vine as well. Zelly will be in the gulag. And we have Zero from Rigid, who's trying to get away from the blue orb, going in for rescue. The pickup hasn't been done just yet because of a potential threat that would be happening from afar. Now, as we can see, Zero goes in for a little bit of recovery as well as for the flank. I think they don't want to be caught by the sights of IE, because they are dealing with some of the players from LE Etheres, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want to be spotted right away. At least they are expecting to third-party them and not really be caught off guard.
Great challenge that we are seeing from the VPV. That's a lot of money they need to save in order for them to buy back one of their team. At the same time, they're patiently waiting for the two players back into the battlefield. Having said that, we are seeing some action from the leg. We are seeing here as well the two dog tags, and one is still into the right now. The player I know, but he's the only player. Same thing with Seiji from High.
I would call him Takashi. If he has a castle, it would be deadly. You know how it is. Our age brings us to that nostalgic moment when you have to deal with Takashi's castle. But anyways, going into Four Kings, they have 8 eliminations overall, but Yato has been taken down. As you can see, a lot of contention being done against Four Kings at this point, but Yonko will not survive any longer. The question though is, do they have a chance to revive themselves in Gulag if they manage to save up or probably get a chance to get those Gulag tokens? But for Four Kings, they still have Yato that will be coming back in a bit if he wins at 1v1, or if in case he doesn't. I think Super Jeff has invested so much to bring him back.
I love what I'm seeing right now from the Four Kings. They got got a complete squad, and they got the hounds. So they are dangerous in our round. So let's see how it goes. How are they going to maintain this kind of position? Because right here, from my perspective, they're leading the forces to be reckoned with. So the question there is, can they be able to, or we be seeing another W from the Four?
Well, let's see though. No offense to the Four Kings right now. I want to see a different team get that W. I want a different team to get that victory, because we want it really tight on how it is on the top of the leaderboard. And well, it might be tight as well once we go into day number 4 on the group stages, but there's still a few things that they would need to adjust at this point. But we still have 18 teams out of the 19 that joined the lobby. And yes, it seems like there's a lot of engagement, but for me, this is still slow. The blue will be closing in a bit. A lot of chaos might be happening later on once everyone is close to each other, and it seems like Leap and Bound is not waiting for that to happen. They are already showing so much finesse in getting all those elimination, and 14 overall is what they grabbed.
And this really works from Leap and Bound, as you can see right here. That's the only choice that they can do, because they don't have enough cash. So they really need to take good care of that position, make sure that calculate their movement so that they can execute their plan, because have another kill point will give them a secure spot moving into the finals. As you can see right here, that's really a great usage of that second level of that little barn with that window, and checking and finding that intel could help the team alone to position themselves and fight our Rigid Phoenix.
Now let's see though. There goes Leap and Bound, adding up more, but Burn has been brought into the Gulag. A little bit of concession into this compound, but on the other side, we have OBS right now with Claudie coming back for elimination already overall, but this is a little bit low for a team like OBS. We've seen them a greater from yesterday's game, or probably it's just a matter of momentum that we keep talking about yesterday, that they haven't grabbed as well. They haven't continued getting just yet. But for Zele, after all the chaos they have done, 3 of which are still alive, and I guess there's more chances for them to get into fight. But speaking of fight, the chase probably is happening between Four Kings and Delta, and it's a 2-vehicle push going as a Delta team right now, and they're not letting go. The relentless Four Kings wants more elimination.
It's gonna be hard, because those 2 vehicles roaming around, being driver for the rally car, that's create a lot of pressure. Also a great chance to V1 situation, getting that kill with a combination of the shotgun with a 2v1 situation right now. Delta is definitely in the bad situation, and true enough, although we're seeing some good trade from the Four Kings, we're still seeing Bunny, oh my god, still being alive, and the other teammate of Bunny is also trying to do some reset. No other than Jamil, but looking at the number of kills for Kings, that's 15 kills in total right here, and we still have 32 soldiers on boots.
Yeah, let's see though. With the two players remaining, Tom Peeps and Yaro already out, will they still be that aggressive in this point? Yes, we've seen this before, but a little bit later into the game we're in. There's only a few teams that they need to deal with, but at least they have the essentials in terms of their in terms of their utility. They have the snowboard to get away. They have a lot of weapons. I believe this is already coming from the airdrop or the arsenal, and they have better chance on fighting back, just in case a few of the teams would be gunning against them. But Delta, the team that they were chasing off earlier, is still in the high ground, but for Carl, who is the only one remaining, I believe, for IE, he would need to be a little bit more quiet and careful as well, unless the blue forces him out.
I'm seeing the changes of their strategies right now, brother,
Mm.
because maybe the we did from the rules, maybe one that's one of the reason it really affects their gameplay. And right now we're seeing that they don't have any chances to stay longer outside of the zone, which is one of the key factor. That's why they're adjusting and they're not showing any aggression. And true enough, because right here, having soldiers left from the Four Kings, they are not really themselves revealing their to their opponents. They just want to get to find some good intel, sniping, using that scope, and sharing that info to his teammates that hey, someone is left corner. Aneems is also joined the corner. Also, in front of us, we have a lot of opponents, so we ready and we need to be careful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's see on how well they can play this out. Foot from Seb has been spotted, and Super Jeff might be going in for rush. Now, a good I love the POV that we have right now. At least we are seeing the perspective coming from the players, not on the on the TPP, but on FPP right now. At least we can see where they're pointing, where they are guiding themselves at this point. But as we go in onto the center of the circle for the Four Kings, they have a lot of teams going against them, and Delta is not out just yet. Despite of how aggressive they were for Four Kings right now, they couldn't show that aggression because a
Oh,
lot is swarming around.
oh, this could
Uh-oh.
be the chaos that we are talking because the
Nope.
circle is getting and one player from the Four Kings got knocked out. That's gonna be super Dev's a good thing. He got his
Oh
own
no!
survival kit. Oh my god, because of that explosion. That was really a great attack from Helex's Vicious, showing some viciousness, getting a kill point from the Four Kings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was expecting that already. Vigo's still up, and they didn't explode it. And I think Ge had the same idea as well. That's why he pulled away, letting Super Jeff revive himself. But despite of having to revive himself, he couldn't really recover that much because there's a lot of three players from Vicious who's targeting him. Now, the three players is still on a roll on chasing out for the Four Kings, but Koro might be in trouble right now. The only one in the middle, but
Oh,
not yet spotted. Spots and shots as well as smoke has been released right now, but just be careful because this blue's going to hurt. And at this point for MJ, because of him staying outside of the blue, only 10 HP remaining, and it only took 1 or 2 shots to take him down.
that's going to be a quick annihilation, but let's see what's going to be the adjustment. This is the one that we're talking about that they know they don't choice. All of the teams right now getting to each other. Going to be it. This could be a quick seeing attack, seeing them around. Delta players trying to connect some few shots, but misses a shot
Nope.
and going outside of the key to adjust the position. But that's also just for them from the OBs, and Paul is definitely doing so. Lexus advantage. They got high ground, great angle, but Koro not moving any muscle at all.
I mean, he's not even breathing. And I'm not sure how long and how well he's done that, but he had a better chance of surviving at this point compared to those who are going for the engagement. But the Blues closing in, and seems like Koro will be
Wow.
moving as well. And there you go, finally, he moved up. But OBS says, no, we're going to take you down. And there goes OBS for the victory with 14 elimination as well.
OB is made. Get the win. Very end. Great phenomenal performances. A lot of being that choice. He used to go out the zone just to somehow get some time to survive. it turns out it's an easy kill from those main, especially adding more pressure from the 2v1 situation.
Yeah, definitely. That is something that Goro managed to survive a little bit longer, but unfortunately, there's not enough hiding spot for him to work with once the blue closes in and once everyone is surrounding him. So let's see if this is something that some of the teams can utilize later on. But seems like OBS, I want to see how they place themselves from that match, and not only that, also onto the next or onto the overall standing. Because for those viewers right now who are watching, we are carrying over the points from yesterday's matches up until today and up until day number 4 of the group stages, because we want to see who can stack up a lot of points and get to the top 10 for each group to qualify for the next stage.
A battle of us. This is a key, and that's the sense of having points from day 1 going on to, and definitely we still not yet done with the group stage. We still have day 4, so we might be seeing elimination kill points from any different teams. And so far from our experience yesterday, 4 Kings we dominated. Now OBS to catch up, they got to win, and they got some few kill points. So I'm so excited to see what's like in terms of rankings.
Yeah, I mean, I as well, because I'm a person of data. I love compiling all of those and getting what storyline the teams has to offer in terms of elimination and placement, because we don't have a view of everything from that battlefield. And that's one thing about Battle Royale, because despite as much as we want to see all the engagement, all the battle going on, we don't have that much of storyline unless they are really a performer who managed to get a lot of highlights, a lot of insights in there, and being on the spotlight most of the cases. But the number shows as how they managed to get all those eliminations, did they place higher, how well they survive, and this is what I love overall. I love to explain that, and that's one of the reasons why why my math is mathing a little bit better today, Clark, because I have the numbers available already.
Here you go. Which is definitely true. Right now, you know what's the difference between the team in terms of points that they really need to work on, so that they can have a better chance in being part of the grand finals. And true enough, because you've got the data, and we keep on seeing numbers won't lie.
Yeah.
Right. And from there, determine who the best team for Garena September 5. And this is the BR tournament that we are all waiting for. We're all excited to see as history, and I'm so grateful, honor, because I'm part of the history.
Yeah, definitely. Well, looking at the match winner at this point, we have OBS with Quasi, Paul, Fry, as well as Claudie. And looking at the elimination that they have, it's Fry who would be potentially our MVP in this game. But overall, the performance as well as survivability coming from the team, how well they dominated that high ground, and how better they managed to take down a few of the players from one of the edge of the circle as they go closer to those stragglers that they found in that final zone. So congratulations to OBS, and this is something that we want to see even more from the team. And let's see though if this points, like 10 points plus a 14, a total of 24 overall from just in one game, can catapult them from the previous placement that they were from yesterday's matches.
Fry is definitely cooking, bro. Fry is definitely a chef for the first round of Gray, and being the VP, and clearly out the team alone, as you can see in terms of number of kills. He's one of the leaders, and definitely having a great comms just to execute their gameplay well, and decisions being made, as you can see from the last zone earlier. They are not really rushing in. They're finding some perfect moment to attack, and because of that one, it's the top one getting the W. And speaking of getting the W, MVP is that what keeps on cooking with 6 eliminations.
Well, definitely, he definitely cooked. Not only him, but the full team. And it seems like with this, they would be part of the top, like the top three, if not top four of our leaderboard. Getting close to some of the teams who managed to get ahead from yesterday's game. In a bit, we're going to see that as well. For those of you watching right now, waiting to see the next batch or the next group in our tournament, don't forget to like and share the stream. Share it to all your friends. Invite them and also join them in chat, because this is where, as we keep saying, history is being made, legends are being molded, and legends like OBS as well as Fry would be cooking.
Really cooking enough to bring them to the top.
Yeah.
Your OBS
Yeah.
for the Group A, getting the first win on the first round. And we keep on saying earlier, like Brother Nep is saying, we are creating some history. We are molding the legend Darius for tonight's because after this one, we'll be showing you the battle for the Group B.
Yeah, let's see now. We are now looking at the match ranking. 24 points as calculated earlier. Leap and Bound would be close as well because they did have a lot of elimination point, but unfortunately they didn't get as much in terms of placement. So only 2 points for them. The same goes for Four Kings. In spite of how much potential they have to get that victory, it is very unfortunate that there's only two left that for the teams and didn't survive that longer. Now, for the other players or the other teams right now who really need that much point, I think they are doing quite better at this point. Yonko, they did try their best to survive, but there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of engagement as well as challenges that they have to go through, and I would love to see where OBS ended up in top three. That is a good move for them. Only 5 points below Leap and Bound. I won't count Four Kings at this point. They're very close to that first century mark or for the 100 mark. So I guess they are running away with this.
I love what I'm seeing right now in terms of number or the total points from each team, and Four Kings clearly leading the pack and followed by Notice and performances on the mass. So the three teams from the overall rankings of the group.
Yeah, well, let's see though on how well they can change this, because they have 2 more opportunities to change this overall rankings. But as we are getting closer to the end or to the next matches, I want everyone to focus right now on how close it is from the 10th or 9th, 10th, as well as on to those following, because those are teams who has the potential to cross over from second page of the map onto the first, or not on the map, on first page of the overall standings onto the first. Now, we are now going in onto Group B, same map. From Group B, because we talked about this
already. And if you remember yesterday, and also to Brother Nep, we don't see any OBS logo yesterday. Right now, this is the first time we are seeing it. So great job, kudos to them. We're moving on to the Group B. So let's see if we will be seeing another logo later on at the end of the first round of the Group B, where it might be a logo again of Rigid TSG, who knows, or it might be a different team, because like you said, you want to see a different team. It only means a different logo at the end of the round one, right?
Exactly. I mean, it only shows that teams are evolving, adjusting, making those changes as needed from the failures, if they had any failures. But if you're not getting that victory, that means there's a little something off in terms of your gameplay. So from yesterday's game up until before this day, this is the opportunity for the team to really make all those adjustments, make all those corrections. And with OBS, I think they have made all those adjustments already. It's more of the consistency, probably not putting themselves in board of the victory, but at least keep maintaining on the elimination as well as placing a little bit higher, and that will be great practice as well once they get into grand finals, wherein victory is the determining factor of being the champion.
Which is definitely huge. So that's why, as a
Yeah.
player, you have to be open. If there's any feedback from your teammates, you have to accept it and you have to make some changes. Now, from the leader of a squad, they really need to somehow put some effort. How are they going to communicate to have that synergy that they really need in order for them to grab the W? Because at the end of the day, we're still in a tournament and we're not yet in the grand final. So they really need to perform.
Yeah, let's see though on how well they are going to perform. And well, I guess everything is slowly being set up as well for Group B. Now, I want to take a peek on what Group B has offer right now. I believe you have the same data, you have the same numbers. Rigid from yesterday, they did get at least 80 points, or to be exact, that's 82 points from yesterday. And it's very close between them and IE. Now, the only question though is for Blackfire, who's 22 points below IE and very close with VVV, Four Kings Overload, even Poison Ivy. Would there be any switch up or any changes in their tactics wherein they would be a little more aggressive, taking that second place, or would that be their downfall? And if Blackfire goes a little bit too aggressive, they might be taken down onto the leaderboard a little further down the line.
If we see some changes from the rankings, that's going to be a great narrative to tell, a great story to share. And I'm hoping that Poison Ivy Team Atlas will do something different tonight so that somehow they can have a better movement from the rankings. I'm talking about being part of the top 3, who knows? But the thing is, looking at the data, they only got 37 total points. In order for them to be part of the top 3, they need to do more. They need to be on rank 1, plus having a lot of kills.
Yeah, and one thing, well, I think kills and elimination is, better elimination would be helping Poison Ivy. It's more of the placement. Imagine, out of 3 games that they played yesterday, they only got 6 placement points. And that's only equivalent to 1 second place, if I'm not mistaken, if my reference is correct. So that's only 1 second place, and the rest are all like 0. So they are getting good enough elimination point, even better than Four Kings Overload. But in terms of placement, in terms of survivability, in terms of getting to the final circle, that's where they are failing. And well, hopefully this time around, that's what they worked on, because that's the true essence of Battle Royale. You survive longer, you be the last man standing, and elimination is somewhat a bigger bonus at this point.
Bigger bonus indeed. So like the one that you're sharing earlier from the Poison Ivy, if they're not able to really finish being rank 1, it only means that they need to talk about it. Just have an open discussion from the team, and what will be the other strategies available that they can do in making a W at the end. And that's the key in changing your ranking and having a better chance of winning and moving into the grand finals.
Exactly. I mean, there's just plenty of narrative that we can talk about, things that teams would need to improve, and hopefully well, not just the teams but also viewers out there who know the team will be able to relay some of those insight. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of insiders, a lot of analysts out there in our chat as well that has a lot more of insight on how some teams might be able to do it better. And that's no joke. It's difficult to really put in so much depth in terms of analysis unless you know the team for themselves, if you have a little background of what's going on, mentality, in their morale, if this is the usual or their comfort zone on being a high pressure tournament just like this, or is their gameplay just built up to build momentum, slow from the start, and then that's when they go hot from towards the end because there's a different approach every time. If different team, different brands, they have different approach in taking each tournament, and that's one reason as well why a lot are couldn't say complain, but surprise on how our groupings are set up because we are giving more chances for those teams who needs adjustment. So one round gap gives them that opportunity to change and a different team might be on the board.
That's true because I'm watching some of the pro player who's streaming, and one of the strategies that they're doing is like
Yeah.
they're gonna check how hot, how crazy the round one is, and then moving on to the round two. The round two, they're going to adjust, and from there we'll be able to see them how wild they are. How are they going to execute their strategies as well because of the one that they did? It's kind of like in work field. It's like an A/B testing. It's like
Oh yeah.
knowing your opponents first, and yet okay, let's test this out. Oh, it didn't work. On moving on to the round two, let's make this perfect because we're not able to execute it perfectly on the first round. Kind of like that. And those are the attitude and the behavior that I am keep on admiring to all of the pro players because they really know what to do. They're studying, they have the understanding, and the one that you were keep on saying earlier, yesterday, Neptune, mechanical skills is still out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, mechanical skills is one of the basics in terms of playing this game. But let's see how well can they play this game because the flight path right now somewhat similar in terms of direction, but in terms of position, it's a little bit on the west. And those who are planning to get into Dormitory, Heat, Sakura, Refinery, they might be slowed down a little bit on their drop. So if in case any contention or hot drop would be happening and there might be a little bit of delay and that would be or might be their downfall. But from what I'm seeing, comparing to what we've seen in Group A, in Group B, Overgrown has been overpopulated at this point. 3 teams in that area. I don't know if the target was Heat because of the chopper or just a snowboard because of the availability in the snowy areas, but 1 or 2 teams need to move away. Otherwise, early engagement will be happening, early gulags will be happening. The same goes in New Vision City. They're still outside of the next phase of the circle, so they need to move fast.
They really need to move fast. As you can see right here, he's definitely getting a lot of damages at his back. That's your 4 VK, 4 Valor Kings, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see how are they going to survive. This is interesting. We are seeing 4 Kings. We're seeing 4 V Kings.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like they're brothers.
Well, again, this is a rematch between these 2 teams. From yesterday, the last time we saw them fight in this area, it was 4 VK. He managed to win it, and it put 4 Kings Overload in a very difficult position. Now they're in the same place, but I think there's a little bit slowdown because they know they need to be cautious. But on the other side, for Blackfire, we have pointed out earlier how much points they need to do to be able to catch up onto IE as well as Rigid, and this is where they're starting it off. Unfortunately, they have met, or Berto have met a little bit of demise and will be brought into Gulag. But they managed to take down Hyun from the help of Luki, and Instinct will be able to fly away, even survive, not targeted. So let's see on how well they can do that for RVH because only 1 remains on battlefield and the rest, it's either a dog tag or is already in the Gulag.
That's something that we can see, something that we can expect from all of the teams. Right now, it's kind of like a ceasefire. I don't see any killer feed right here. So it's interesting. Oh, Poison Ivy finally fighting against Pave, that's the one that you saw earlier from the Overgrown. We are seeing 3 teams earlier. So it might be a chaos out there already, but looking out, another chaos. We are seeing some annihilation. Poison Ivy, Team Atlas, Kyle TZ getting that confirmed kill right off the bat. They got 3 kills in total.
Yeah, I mean, they went against Pave from this area, and there's Punisher who I believe would not be punishing anyone because there's a bunch of poison ivy in the field right now. Now, Punisher would be hanging himself dry in a bit. Kai would be confirmed and will be heading into the gulag, or will not be reviving from the gulag, and that would be more work coming from Fave at this point. Might not be that favorite moment, but they need to work it through because there's still plenty of time, but not so much of space to work with.
There you go. So something that they really need to consider of. But looking at the 4VK, still able to push the 4 kings earlier because I don't see them right now from the new Vision City. And it's a good thing to see that because they have a complete squad with 4 kills in total. And checking the VVV in front of them, that KM2 in the dormitory map, this is a huge map to where they can take advantage of every corners from any buildings from the dorm. But you got to be careful as well because there a lot of teams might be thinking the same way. They're also doing the same gameplay. So you got to be ready, and you are about to really to push your opponent or not. Oh my god, there he's only mission is to grab the wings, and here we go. That's a bad idea. He doesn't have any idea that VVV is also out there just patiently waiting for him to grab the wings.
Well, Slick wasn't that slick at that point. He was not expecting anything. I mean, no contention at this point. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, VVV dropped a little bit further and then just went back in dormitory because KM2 or KM2 was just focusing in getting that chopper and probably getting a few more loots from where they dropped. But it's VVV who waited on them. That patience is a virtue. You know how it is. It's not only the hospital that we have great patience.
I agree.
Even in the game, they need to be patient. There's no doctor that can cure the lack of patience. And L will be taken down. Another elimination. Only 2 remains. Only Ryu and X would be surviving for KM2. And I think Ryu would not even last any longer. With only 14 HP and the blue eating him up, he needs to move a little bit faster with the blue.
Can he survive? That's something that we need to find out later on. But also Team JKM2 is also having some difficulties getting some damages outside of the zone. They stay longer. I don't know if that's the one gameplays that they're planning or because we are seeing some other players right now trying to do their best to be inside of the zone while attacking. Here we go. That's Rara once again being the MVP yesterday, roaring and being loud just to get more kills. And true enough, he's also trying to do his best to connect a few shots, but not able to knock him down.
Yeah, let's see though if Ryu can get away to similar to what we've seen some players do earlier. Vigo has been taken by X as well from KM2, and they managed to survive. L unfortunately didn't win that fight on Gulag and will need to be revived. Now for 4 Kings Overload, in spite of them losing that fight in New Vision City, they managed to get back at least 2 or if not 3 of their players after the Gulag, and let's see though if they will be able to recover one more from the game. Now for Kosa, they are meeting with RGD, and you know how rigid it is, especially in this grouping. It will be a tough contention, but there goes another one, the most wanted team going in for backstab, and this is a contention that Rigid might have been waiting for.
This is really interesting because in terms of position, Rigid Esports got the advantage. They got a good vantage point that they can be smart enough on how to use it to knock down the players of most wanted, but also some pressure being added to their shoulders because the circle is definitely shrinking. So they need to be ready. They need to be aware at the same time. And here we go. A lot of patience. Voting by Slash, trying to connect, cracking out of that. So that's going to be a lot of power from the hands of most wanted. It's a great corner support from Rigid Esports, but there's a great trade happening at the same time. And Stellar is the only player. He got no choice but to get away.
Yeah, you need to get away, but here comes Kosa trying to go in for the fight, and there goes Kosa after patiently waiting for that battle to ensue. It pushes most wanted away. Even Shiba then can survive against them. Now, Let's see though, for all of those stragglers, for those all of those survivors of the engagement, how far can they get? Because the blue will be closing in a bit, and some has snowboard, some has vehicles, but not all of them might be able to run quick enough, and a lot of teams might be meeting up on the edge of the next phase.
Rigid Esports clearly being on this phase that we're talking about, a little bit of advance, slow, and also being clever, because right now they don't have any engagement, so it's like doing some reset, because we saw how crazy the most wanted earlier attacking them, and most wanted pushes them earlier. And looking at the map, as you can see, a lot of teams still staying at the edge of the zone. Few teams only are inside of the circle. And speaking of the circle, here we go, we're seeing some action from far. Let's see how crazy and wild they are, if they're going to show some thirsty for blood. And speaking of thirsty for blood, Axis clearly drinking a lot of blood out there. This is really a bloodbath from Axis.
Yeah, Axis, as well as Melv would be in here waiting for the opportunity for the rest of the teams to come back. But at least in terms of loot, they do have a chance to give them those who will be getting back onto the gulag. But I love the movement, a payback coming from IE after some of the players has been eliminated from their side. Hasfood, only one remaining, putting so much pressure, and they did get their 9th elimination at this point. It's just unfortunate that Apollo would be taken down, no chance to be revived, and need to go in to the gulag. The same with Glue as well as Rika.
Oh, I'm not really sure what is going on right now, brother, in that, because Immortals Esports has Boo driving around far away from the zone, and yet trying to do his best to make it faster to be safe. And speaking of safe, he is not definitely safe from the hands of Dream and getting that kill in. Can you imagine Crystal killing his opponent? It's kind of like cringy.
Yeah, it's cringy. I mean, most of the time, Crystal would ask you to turn the other cheek, but
There you
not
go.
in Battle Royale. Not in Battle Royale. I mean, he would take you down at this point. Now, let's see though. We have Uncrowned Kings. We haven't seen them so much for today compared to what we've seen them yesterday, and it's more of survivability that they're playing with right now. Just going in with the blue, making sure that they don't have that much contention later on, and a better advantage, a better high ground advantage as well in most of the fight. An ice pick being used by Bax to spot out how many opponents will be in here, and I guess this is something, information is the key once you are being pressured by the zone. But speaking of being pressured by the zone, who is this? This is Cray from TMW. He just keeps swimming, he keeps swimming. And TMW is out in the islands right now, where downtown would be the next phase. So I think it would not be safe for them to cross over unless they use that zip line going into the lighthouse.
Right, and that's why they're trying to do to do their best to really go and be closer from the circle, because that's the key in having a better position once we have a closer circle. And speaking of closer circle, we're seeing some close quarter battle, getting that win from the Team M. Here we go. That's really a good one, but not able to get a two-piece, but also being attacked. What a great support from the Leap main team.
Elite main team, we've seen how well they played, but is this something that they can recover overall? Because it seems like for Team of Leap, being placed in 12 in the beginning of this day is off-brand compared to what we've seen in the Group A Leap team. So they need to make a comeback. They need to do some recovery at this point. But let's see on how well they can do so. Now, for Dream right now, spotting Sekre, and Rigid is just going in for the buy station, but fortunate for him, this is also the same goal for Cristo from Dream. Buy back one, if not two, of their teammates, and then be a full squad and get back into play. So Sekre has been denied of that, but I think he has done the deed. He did have a few revival being put in, and though he might be falling down, at least Stellar as well as Lei will be back in play.
That's just something that they really need to do and adjust in order for them to be effective in getting more kills. Because in terms of number of kill points right now, they need to do a lot more. They need to exert a lot of effort. And Cholo from TMW trying to make some few shots, even if there's a cloud of smoke in front of him, which is a great cover, but also pushing in, and that's gonna be a flag. Can it work? Can he knock down? But also getting some damage, and that's why he got no choice, trying to get away and survive from that players.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's the only one remaining at this point, and this is what I'm talking about earlier. The trouble the TMW Kratos would be meeting because they went in through the waters, and I'm pretty sure some of the teams, like Crown Kings, we saw them from the docks, and they were just getting that opportunity. They spotted TMW swimming, but they had an opportunity to use that zip line to get even faster onto downtown. And I love that gameplay, moving ahead compared to your opponents so that you can gatekeep them on Crown Kings. Well, definitely, I hope to see them being crowned at this point.
Let's see who will be crowned as champion, because seeing the team advancing to their position, that's really being clever. They know what he would to do. We are seeing Rigid Esports, even they only got 2 soldiers. They are right now inside of the huge building from the downtown. Same thing with VVV, trying to be careful right here, trying not to create a lot of noises, not moving any muzzle at all, just to make sure that their footprints would not appear to any odds of the opponent. Same thing with Immortals Esports. A lot of players right now are on ceasefire. It's like they're not really showing some aggression so that their position won't be revealed.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's worrying me because at some point we still have 14 teams remaining, and for those who would be dominant, a full squad, they will be farming a lot of points in this game. A lot would be coming back for a revive like Dem, but well, he would not be surviving that long out in the open, being spotted, especially with some of those shoots popping off. Then that would be a takedown, definitely being done against them. But for Aspect, a pickup can be done. Sato is going for oversight, probably seeing Blackfire from afar. Will they be able to defend themselves with Poison Ivy having the same problem? There's a lot of teams in this small compound, and here comes the push. Blackfire, Nash from afar for oversight, and the rest would be rushing in.
Great gameplay we are seeing already from the Blackfire, trying to use that right tech out there from afar, and Fire is about to showcase how powerful they are, how they are really on fire. Having a better position in pushing their opponents is one of the key of winning any gunfights. But let's see, because right now they're changing their formation. They're trying to rotate, adjusting and doing some reset. With a cloud of smoke, they know already the position of their opponents, and it's going to be a close quarter battle. Not able to react out there. That's a tight space to move out or dance around, whatever movement that you are used to in doing some surviving moment.
Yeah, let's see how well they can survive. Oh, Hasbu, looking at the ice pick, we've seen at least what 6 opponents in the area, and that will be tough. And this is what I'm talking about. If you have a lot of teams and one compound to work with, I know downtown is huge. The building itself, there's a lot of exit, there's a lot of entrance, a lot of levels as well that you can hide out for. But once blue gets closer, it would be difficult to move. So as you can see, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams out of the 11 is in here. Wrestling with a Godnade onto Ferns and managed to go in for the takedown. But let's focus on Blackfire right now. 14 elimination. Berto almost out, recovering, topping up those armors, and might be going in for rush onto Leap. Only Red would be heading in straight with that snowboard, and only a first distraction, or probably a scout, but he might be the one being taken down, and Blackfire slowly diminishing in this fight.
What? Too unfortunate for Lead because he's just doing some reset out there, and after getting inside of the circle, he is being surprised by the two soldiers, and that's why it was an easy kill. Looking at from the Blackfire once again, trying to be ready, trying to help out their teammate to go back on his feet with a cloud of smoke just to have a great cover while buying some time, trying to survive. VVV on top of the building, they got a vantage point, so they got a better position. They can always use the window and attacking their opponents. They can have the sniper, they can have the AR. Who knows? That's gonna be the long range that we might be seeing from the VVB. Meanwhile, the other teams, IE, still being alive and kicking outside of the zone. I'm not really sure if that's really a great idea. Even if you have a Snowbee, here we go. One more shot and he will be down. Oh my God! He managed to get him knocked down. That's crazy.
But unfortunately for him, because Blue's closing in, he will be knocked down as well. Only 2 players. Make that 1 player! And Dartle, unfortunately, pulls out. What's that? Was that an FHJ SMRS? He would be taken down. And, well, 4 Kings will also be eliminated. I believe that is all. We are down to 4 teams already. And it seems like only for those with the most number can survive. And it seems like it is Blackfire who can dominate this game. 3 soldiers, and 2 of which is from Blackfire. Has Boo shots on Luki. Nash can go for a payback, but that is a timing, a little bit of bait and switch, and Blackfire goes for the victory.
Congratulations to the Blackfire. They're really on a fire. Great diversion and having a phenomenal number of kills at the same time as we all see how they plan things out. They are not really showing some aggression. They just really wanted to stay longer at the edge of the zone, planning things out, even if there's some great challenge early on to where one of their teammates got knocked down on the ground, but it is not enough to lose the battle. They still make sure that they got the composure and they keep on having a great comms, which is really evident. That's why they push in. That's why we saw a 2v1 situation at the end, and a diversion being made, a knockdown being made at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Surviving with more numbers gives you more opportunities. And I think even Blackfire took advantage of how many teams is available from that area. From the east side of the map, they managed to rotate or cut through everyone through downtown, and they grabbed that victory. The only question, though, is how much points did they get, and is it enough to get their points or their lead, or the gap rather, between those in top 2 a little bit closer? Because going back to the numbers before the game started, it was a 22-point lead that they need to catch up on.
Let's see. They might be on top. They might get the #1 ranking. I'm not able to see how much total of eliminations they've got, but let's see, because they got the rank 1, so that's additional 10 points, so that's really good, and it will put them on top or at the second, who knows. But I really appreciate all of your patience, because right now our data team is definitely doing their best to update the scores so that we'll be able to show it right away.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm referring to some of the numbers from broadcast as well. In the final moment, I believe it's close to around 20, if not probably even less, for Blackfire. So there's a huge point already. Example, it's only 17, 18 points, and they got an additional 10 points. They have already broken through the 22 that they need to go against what Rigid. And Rigid or IE, whoever's on the second place. So Rigid was top, IE was second place, so they need 22 points. So I think that is enough, but still dependent on how long Rigid or IE survive to close the gap between them, because I want to see that storyline. I want to see that result. And in terms of gameplay, in terms of performance, I love that they stuck together. Yes, they were aggressive in pushing in. Which team was it? Was it TMW or TMW, or was it Crown Kings? But there are a few targets that they went in against, but Berto was a little bit too aggressive and managed to pull away in perfect timing, giving space for those engagements to happen. So I want to see more from what Blackfire can do in this game.
Are they gonna be on fire
Mhm.
or not?
Or will
That's
there's a fire be snuffed out? That's the most unfortunate to do. But let's congratulate the team Blackfire. We have Red, Luki, Nash, as well as Berto in here. 2 elimination for Red, 5 elimination for Luki, 7 for Nash TZ, and 5 for Berto. This team, I am familiar with some of the players out here, and they have made a name for themselves, especially in the professional scene. And this is where, again, the legend continues. Their prestige continues in terms of Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale.
I couldn't agree more because Nash, TC, and Luki are one of the OG COD players, and they are also the pro teams, and they have a lot of crowns at their bags. And speaking of crowns, 7 eliminated from Nash TC's hand, and because of that, he was our MVP for the isolated match for the first round Group B.
Yeah, I mean, well, 7 elimination, that is a lot coming from Nash. Now, we're going to see and take a sneak peek of that match ranking. 29 points! And they are ahead IE. So, I guess with this, they might have closed in the gap already. IE Exodus right now with 21 points. I want to see where Rigid is 12 points only. So, there's a huge disparity at this point between the top 3 teams from before we start the game, and a little bit of movement. But look at that. BBB Vitas, they did have a victory from yesterday. Now they are consistent in getting at least in the top 5 of our leaderboard or our match ranking. Gives them more opportunity to be on the top of that overall scores.
Let's see about that one. Let's see if VVV will have a better scores and rankings in terms of overall. Speaking overall for the Group B, here we go. This is really a close battle, 2-point difference only. Oh my god, I'm good with math right now. Between IE and Rigid and Blackfire, clearly on fire, but you know, yesterday they're still at the 3rd position, 3rd ranking, but they maintain it. And speaking of the consistency, yeah, this is a consistency that we are talking about. At least we're seeing some great progress from Blackfire and a huge difference from the scores of VVV.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we want to see overall. A few teams really making changes in their overall rankings. Now, a different team. No one from yesterday is no one from yesterday is getting the board right now, and this is a good storyline because we've seen the improvement, we've seen the adjustment, even like how slow most of the teams are starting this game. It's not too scrappy, it's more tactical, and I'm loving the evolution of each and every team from day 1 to day 2.
That is definitely true. And speaking of progress, brother, it's clearly a progress. We don't see any Four Kings logo. We don't see any Rigid Phoenix logo. We don't see IE logo. So that's really a great change that we have for this, for the second day of the group stage. I'm loving it. It only means that it's like, yeah, we lost on the first stage. I mean, on the first day, but wait for us. We are coming for you on day 2.
Well, as you know, we are going to go for a quick break. When we return, the battle continues. Once again, I'm Neptune the Gentleman Garcia, joined by Super Clark. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
And we are back. Good evening, good folks. Welcome once again to Garena September Cup 2025. My name is Super Clark. Here with me, Brother Neptune, bringing some hype, giving you some stories to what is going on to our group stage. And it's clearly the changes that we had earlier. It surprises us and it makes it interesting in terms of moving on to the next fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the changes coming from the teams right now, even from Group A to Group B, has been evident. It's more of how they responded to yesterday's game or after yesterday's game that is showing us that some teams can also grab a victory, similar to what we've seen in OBS as well as Black Fire. We're going to see a little bit of a recap of what has happened into Group A before we jump into the battlefield. And Four Kings is still on the board. Now, there's still a huge lead between them and Leap and Bound, but I want to see more of that challenge happening from the 9th to, I would say, close to even the 15th place, because it is very, very close between them. And some on the second page from 11 to 15 might be able to cross over, given that some of the teams who are not performing or who will not be performing would be those at the bottom or those on the 8th, 9th, or 10th place.
But I love what I'm seeing right now from the overall rankings, because it only means that they are a lot of teams. Most of the teams right now are really performing, though FAG and Soul really need to do some extra effort. Same thing with Bloodgum, but at the end of the day, they still need to be part of the grand finals. That's the goal, unless they are not, not really trying to get a win. Who knows? Or maybe in terms of how good the opponents are, right? Maybe it's unlucky for them facing Four Kings, facing Delta, facing CF, who happens to have a favorite of the Ghost Town yesterday. So
let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see if they're going to turn that Ghost Town around once again. But it seems like Four Kings Overload would need to really get away from that. But now it's a different story. It is the Four Kings at this point that would be putting up the fight. Now, reviewing what the performance of Blackout has been from yesterday, OBS, who did manage to get a victory from Uller's game, is also part of the first top 3 in Blackout. Total 21 points that they grabbed. And for the Four Kings, despite of not getting that victory, it was given to Rigid. They did manage to get a total of 21 elimination plus 5 on the placement. So there's still potential that they can maintain that number 1 spot when it comes to the Blackout map. Now, it's up to the other teams right now to move up. We've seen some who really somewhat perform in terms of elimination but didn't survive that much. Imagine 11 elimination from both BBV, CF, and FD. But in terms of placement, it's not that high.
Right. And it only means that consistency is the key, right? Or maybe they are satisfied in terms of the number of eliminations. Who knows?
I sure hope not.
Exactly. Because if you are getting a lot of kill points, being consistent, having 2-digit kills, right? Two-digit elimination points, why not do your best to be part of the top 3 or being on rank 1? Because it gives you more points. It gives you an edge to be part of the grand finals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, looking forward to how each team will be changing, because I'm going to throw out the window what happened in the first isolated map, because right now we're going in a different map. It's a different tactics overall. There's no more gulag. There's limited chances that the teams would be able to get a few snowboards to use for their mobility, and it's more of the long-range engagement that they have to deal with. And when this map has been introduced, that's where the snipers has been like dominating the game. From far away, they have a clear view of the battlefield, and that's where they will be able to go in for early engagement, and why a lot of teams has managed to put up two or three snipers from their own team every time they jump into blackout, because it is an essential factor in this game. So let's see if that's something that we will see right now, because I guess the game is about to begin in a bit. And well, let's see out of Group A who's going to dominate.
Who's going to dominate on the Group A for the blackout maps? And that's going to be interesting. And just to bring back the point of Neptune in terms of sniper, I'm so excited to see the leap and bound M Zone if he's going to play in a blackout map. M Zone is one of the best sniper that we have in Call of Duty community. So let's see if that's something that we can witness from the leap and bound, or Four Kings, like, you know, Tom Pibbs, or I mean Tokyo is also good in sniping. So that's battle of ranges for the blackout map, or being the first team to grab a lot of resources in the construction site and have a lot of cash and buy the arsenal as early as we speak. So kind of like that, like at the first zone. And after that, they're going to be aggressive so that they can collect a lot of points because of that advantage.
Yeah, and I remember I'm zone, and that's the one reason why I let go of the Killer B, the Killer B skin, is because he's much better in sniping and as a playing, and that's his signature. So I let it go, let him be the Killer B, and I didn't notice really if that's what he's using right now. But as we look into the map right here, there's a lot of contention once again in Turbine, 3 teams, and Hydra Dam is still being taken by 2 teams. Even the state would have a couple of occupants, Nuketown Island, and Cargo Dock. So I don't know what's wrong with the teams right now. There's still a lot of possible drop spot, but I'm seeing a lot of engagement early on because of how everyone is hot dropping everyone else.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because that's one of the one that they keep on practicing. That's the one that they keep on grinding. They wanted to master one key map in isolated and also in blackout. It's just so happened right now other teams chooses to, you know, have the same location. If you remember, just to give additional info as well for the Four Kings, we know Four Kings keeps on dropping on the construction site. Same thing with Leap, main team and Leap and Bound. We keep on seeing them battling each other. Four Kings winning, Leap and Bound also winning. It's kind of like a vice versa, having that turf in construction site. But looking at the Turbine, this is a different team. LE, this is the first time I'm seeing them here, the LE team. But right off the bat, she is the only player trying to get a win. That's the only option that he can do right now, is to find a way to survive and go back and find an opportunity to grab the dog tags.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, it would be tough because I'm pretty sure on how early we are in the game, I don't think IE would be letting it go that easily. There's plenty of time until the zone closes in, and that was just a very early takedown. So it might be tough going in solo from the beginning, like in the first few minutes of the game, and then heading in onto the next. There's a lot of contention that might be happening, and I'm worried that they might not survive that long. Compared to what we are seeing from Radiance, despite of P being taken down, at least they managed to go and fight back the opponent as well as revive P, and they are a little bit more stronger, 4-man strong, going against the other players of FX.
And as we all know, FX, they got the Dean. And speaking of Dean, right, also being caught off guard after knocking down an opponent. That's really a great job in FX Academy right here doing their assignment. But in their surprise, also someone from Radiance caught them and knocked them down. And that's really a great exchange. This trade happened from these 2 teams. In fact, P right now is about to go back on his feet right off the bat. FX Academy clearly got a good start by having 1 kill point from their bags, but it was really a great challenge for them because right now, coming back into the battlefield, getting a lot of resources from the bunker, that's the only thing that they can do, because being in the bunker is one of the safest places to get a lot of resources and juices to make sure that you can be ready to attack and have a lot of time to do some reset.
And let's see though if he can do a reset, revive 3 of the players, and then go and fight back. Like him right now, might be in trouble. Takashi has been spotted. Seiji going in for a rush, and there goes the hit as well as a takedown. But X is still alive. Asta has been taken down. Kite is the one doing the takedown, and Kite has been eliminated as well. Now into the waters we go. A little bit of hiding gameplay and passive approach being done by X, and it's smart as well, but he needs to go up. HP is slowly dwindling, and this might be it. He did manage to put his head up and breathe a little bit, but Hype would not be letting go that easily. So there's plenty of time to spare for the pickup of dog tags, but I don't think Hype will let that be that easily.
They're on the lookout right now.
Yeah.
Since we saw evidently that they don't have any idea that someone is swimming in from one of the players of Lickham, but right now they're on checking all of the corners of this map. But right here, we are seeing some other team dropping off already, trying to attack the Hype. And too unfortunate, one player got knocked down on the ground, and team members also being aggressive with the long range high vantage point, taking that or capitalizing it. And because of that, one player, which is S7 from Hype, is on the ground. As Statizi is also out here rotating, doing some reset, but Kimiyish is also trying to do his best to get a better position, and that's your LSK from Team M. That's your Nefarious. Let's see if there will be any furious gameplay that we about to see and get the win fighting against Hype.
And let's see now. I mean, LSK is a new contender in this area, and they do have the numbers advantage and had this chance to take down Fawns. A little bit of lookout coming from Juice, but Fawns would be stealthy and will try to move away. He can jump out in the water, giving opportunity for him, but no! It's that ice pick from the hacker class that would give off his position. So Fawn might be in trouble. He might not be left alone because he has been spotted. Information has been revealed that there's still one player. But speaking of information, 4 Kings right now from the construction site getting a few more information and might be heading into Nuketown Island. I know that is still part of the next phase of the safe zone, but I guess going into the edge right now would be a great tactic for them to survive a little bit longer.
Open area from the 4 Kings, as you can see. They're just maybe having a plan, having a discussion, what is going on, and taking a secure spot from the Arsenal. And that's one of the keys that they keep on doing in order for them to have the advantage fighting against their opponents. Getting the early Arsenal makes them powerful and confident to push in and do some ambush from any other teams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's priority number 2 at this point, because 1 is to get those kinetic armor, survive a little bit longer, loot up, and then once you have that ready, once you have the opportunity and the airdrop or the arsenal will be dropping in, then you would need to go there faster than the rest of the teams. And I guess for 4 Kings, the further away airdrop that is available, that would be the first thing that they will be taking. So, well, it's already on him, and I want to see if that position is part of the next phase of the circle, because if there will be a huge shift, they might be pushed away. And thank you very much, production, for giving us a vision of what we are going to expect right now. And 4 Kings is now moving in for airdrop into array, or probably somewhere around that area, to go for the gatekeeping. And those on group B right now, they're the ones in the middle. I guess they occupied most of the compound, most of the apartment buildings in there, and that's the best way to get a few more elimination.
Having the best plan of eliminating your opponents is the best strategy that you can have. We are seeing OBS right now using their classes, Shockwave being activated earlier, Cloud Smoke being used as well, getting a lot of kills. 2 kills right off the bat. This is the one thing that we keep on seeing earlier, that they just really wanted to be ready, getting all of the juices needed in order for them to really attack and have a better chance of winning. And that's the one we are seeing right now, OBS, but also good trade happened from the OBS. Two soldiers got knocked down on the ground because we are seeing a complete squad from Delta. Bunny is still out there and hopping off already. So let's see how powerful they are. If they're going to go ahead and showcase and bring their A game to annihilate Team OBS, or they will be, or they are the one who will be knocked down and being capitalized.
Conocido. I mean, Delta is a full squad, and compared to how we see Bunny and probably one, but we know how survivability is being favoring Bunny overall, even from yesterday's game. But for OBS, they were caught off guard. They're trying to target Yonko earlier, and then here comes Delta into the mix, and it puts them in a very disadvantageous position. Even to pick up on the dog tag would be difficult, but it's a good thing that most of Delta team have moved forward already, giving a chance for Claudie, but information has been revealed, and Claudie is now being chased. The deed, though, has been done, and here comes the turnaround. Even Shockwave would not save him, and there goes a hit by Bunny against Claudie.
What a great find coming out from Team Delta. Can you imagine? They are sacrificing their HP going outside of the zone just to get that kill point. And it was really a great idea because adding 1 point can bring them maybe to different rankings at the end of this round 2. In LSK, 3 different colors. Oh, 2 teams that we are seeing a preparation being made from Seiya hacking all of the soldiers of LSK. And that's going to be the sign. That's going to be the trigger to where they can show a lot of aggression. One player left. Kimmy Yish is the only player who got the Snowy trying to create some space.
Well, Kimmich, I believe, has been taken down, but not by the team of Legum. Or probably it was. But, I mean, Legum has been slowly moving into cargo docks and now found their way, but they need to be cautious because IE would be in here as well. Airdrop priority would be one of the goals for Legum at this point, and it gives them more research or resources to work with, especially with that arsenal on them. So if in case they manage to get one earlier, that would be the second arsenal for them, and full squad would have 2 on both. Now, Radiants, we are seeing them in Horizon, as well as probably in the northern part or western part of this area of cargo docks. That would be troublesome for Legum at that point.
Let's see if there will be any trouble fighting against 4 Kings. Whoop. Oh my god. But Tom Pips is also on the ground, and Get is also helping out the team, and Yato repairing the armor with a cloud of smoke inside of this mansion. Tom Pips able to go back on his feet, hacking it out. There we go, just to find some good intel, and if there will be any sign of them pushing forward. And true enough, because right here, CF grabbing the dog tag, that's good enough, but Super Zap rotating from that mansion, now allowing him to scan the dog tag of his teammate. Let's see if he will be successful. And here we go. That's the end of the battle from CF and being annihilated by 4 Kings.
Only a few seconds remaining. Fries could have revived the rest of the teammate, but unfortunately it is 4 Kings that went against him. And it's a total of 8 points already that they have taken. And with their position, I mean, they are just slowly moving in. And this is how tough 4 Kings is right now. They slowly move in, they barely move long enough, and they still are getting a few elimination. Now, IE, who has been staying in here, not even chasing against LSK, would have a better advantage on the southern part of this map, where no one would be able to backstab them. 4 Kings back, and 1 has been taken down already, and from what I'm seeing, they are on the northern. So our top 2 dogs are on either side, and they can get a few more points without beating each other.
I couldn't agree more, but going back to this mansion, going back to this building, these 2 teams still not yet done with the war that they've created from each other. And because of that, at Delta, we are seeing them. They know already how many opponents are still in this location. We're seeing Radiance right now getting inside of this map. Let's see if there will be any chaos. Let's see if this is going to be the war zone we might be seeing, because right now we're seeing 3 different callers. Immortals Esports is also right here. Here we go. Is this going to be the end of Team Delta, or Delta will be annihilating Immortals Esports?
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, it could be either way, but we'll have to find out. Now, we have Immortal Esports who has been here, a new introductory into this area, and Delta has been in here trying to chase down some of the teams and also recovered a few of their teammates. Alien moves in with the R9, and there goes potential takedown that could have been averted if in case they spotted IE a little bit early. Even Jim Yole wouldn't even fight back. Seiya, it's more of the timing. With Alien as well as Carl, they might be able to go in for fight.
Earlier, if you remember, Brother Nip,
Yeah.
we see Legum fighting against Delta.
Dog tags have been
When
scanned
we
successfully.
saw
Your teammates
Immortals
have returned
Esports joining the war, it changes the story. Right now, Delta trying to be passive because Delta and with the combination of the kills from Immortals Esports, Legum being eliminated. Right now, Radiants seeing them, they have a better chance of attacking them and get a win. But right now, while repairing the armor is kind of like a bad situation for him. I'm not sure if that's really a great decision, a great execution of their gameplays. But checking out Immortals Esports, three soldiers remaining from Immortals Esports. They're running around the map right now, changing their location, but Nad is still the only player and patient waiting for the perfect moment to attack. Jemiol just came back into the battlefield. We are seeing a different team once again, brother. That's your FA. What is going on?
Well, it's, I mean, Delta have managed to survive because of the onslaught that happened earlier. And at this point, it seems like they can still survive. Bunny, though, is quite far from the rest of the team. They can go and force a pickup, but we'll have to see if they will be successful. Otherwise, they can just stick with 3 players and Radiance, putting a lot of pressure, making sure that they don't do that or don't do just that. But P might be targeted, and this might be a baited switch between P and R right now. This might be trouble for KG, and there you go! I was just talking about it. It is a takedown that has led Radiance to win that fight.
Can you imagine? That's a high ground advantage, but he's the one being knocked down on the ground. And Delta on the push nobody, but Jemiol getting some damages is he will be able. Oh my God, Jemiol getting that kill from or annihilating R from Radiance, and right now D, he got no choice but to get away because of that annihilation. But too unfortunate as well, seeing the OBS players going up to the hill, something that he needs to adjust, something that he needs to take note of because he needs to survive. He needs to patiently wait for his teammate, or maybe he got no chance. Looking and going back from the same location, it's been a while right now. We keep on seeing different teams fighting each other from this map.
See, there goes the push, but Delta managed to win it. Woo. It's a good thing Delta hasn't been revived, but for how long? They did lose KG. Unfortunate for him, he was baited in by Radiance. Only 16 remain, and Leap might be just jumping and hopping against Bunny at this point. Now, you know how it is. Which one jumps higher, a bunny or the ones that's named to jump high?
So let's see. But is Bunny be able to win from Burn? Because Burn can cook him out. Here we go. Oh my God! I'm just about to say that Bunny might be killed by Burn because that's a lot of heat that he can do out there. But he's the one being knocked out on the ground. But seeing them, MJ is also out here, the only player. But 4Kings doing some third party. This is going to be the perfect chance to execute this. The perfect plan that they can do right now, annihilating a lot of players from this point. As you can see, 4Kings keeps on performing 19 kills in total, and we only have 2 teams to go, Brother Nep, with 5 soldiers on boots.
Let's see. I mean, we are seeing only 2 teams remaining, and the 4Kings seems like they are still dominant. They would still maintain to be the number 1 in this game without even going in for a fight. Seiya has expired, and the 4Kings grabs another victory.
Oh my God, congratulations to the 4Kings, and that's the key in planning carefully to get the victory at the very end. And this is how you play in a victory map. You gotta be slow, you gotta be passive, you gotta make sure that you have your arsenal first. If you remember, Four Kings stay at the beach side where they secure the spot of the arsenal. That's one of the trigger to where they got their own loadouts already, which is the key. Being brave and being powerful to push in, but they're not being contented because one thing that they did is to secure and make sure to complete their own loadouts. From the time that they got their own loadouts, that's the time to where we are seeing them doing some third party, and they are freaking successful enough to annihilate all of the soldiers. And at the very end, while trying to survive, while trying to get away from the Four Kings' hands, it is not enough to get a win from the damage that he got outside of the zone. Congratulations once again from the Four Kings.
I mean, it seems like at that point it looks like an easy victory because there's not so much of contention based on the story that you did mention, and from what we've seen from the Four Kings, they kept themselves distant from all those potential engagement, and they took the other side. So it was IE from the cargo docks, and then the Four Kings was just up north, and they didn't even push towards the others. They're just focusing on their specific area, and they've already done the work. They put in a lot of elimination. Why push it even further? I know we want to see engagement coming from these teams. I know we want to see great gameplay coming from the Four Kings, from Immortal Esports. But if you can win without stepping in to potential threat, then why not? That is, I believe, what the Four Kings had in mind to show complete dominance out of this group.
Clearly dominant on this round. Can you imagine? They got a complete squad after the end with 19 total points. And for me, brother Nep, one of the highlights of that match, not only from the phenomenal performances from Four Kings, I'm so happy to see Bunny hopping off and get a kill, all right, knocking down Burn. But enough of that highlights, because right here, I just wanted to say great job for the Four Kings, and having 6 total eliminated enemies from Tom Pips, he will be crowned as the MVP for this match.
Yeah, definitely. My second MVP for the guy. And still, the whole squad would be raking in a lot of points. I'm really, really happy. I'm pretty sure a lot is happy as well to see this kind of performance coming from the team. But not only that, we have few contention. Despite of how far Four Kings is, there's a lot of contention of the teams who's trying to catch up. But will they be able to catch up? That is the question. Will they be able to close the gap? And I keep saying this, it's not the top 1 that is the goal, the target of the teams right now. It's just to get to the top 6, just to get to the top 10. But if you can show sheer dominance of being top number 1, leading the fray in terms of numbers, in terms of elimination, that's already prestige that no one wants to touch. No one wants to get in your face. And I guess that's what the Four Kings is showing right now.
And to add that point, if I am the opponent of Four Kings, once I saw the Four Kings from the killer feed, I'm not going to join the war because I know for a fact that, you know, the chances of winning fighting Four Kings is less. So what I can do is, you know, better wait for a perfect chance, like, you know, camp and look for a sniper maybe, just to create some space from the Four Kings, because Four Kings, if they're going to push you, that's a clear ambush right away. And true enough, because they're on rank 1 for the Group A rankings with a total of 29 points, 10-point difference. Oh my god, I'm getting better as well. 10-point difference from Delta and eBay team. But let's see how it goes when we show you the overall rankings for the Group A.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in total for Blackout, the Four Kings managed to get 40 elimination and 15 placement point. Though they didn't get the victory from the first time they won, at
Oh my
least they
God.
are still on the top. 126 points. And overall, combination for all the games that they played up until now, they got 3 victory. And this is what they need. This is what they need to be victors, to be champions in this game. They can go and get the victory. They can also achieve the victory points to be eligible to be the champions. And that's the whole package of what we are looking for in the grand finals. But yeah, they're only dealing with Group A as of now. I want to
Right.
see how would that work once they get into the knockout stage, wherein everyone is already on there.
I have a question, brother Nip.
Yeah.
I keep on thinking about this. We are on a group stage.
Yeah.
From my understanding,
Mhm.
like as a pro player. Let's say I'm a pro player and I'm Four Kings.
Mhm.
I want to see and understand how will I be able to deal my opponents. If I will keep on dominating each stages, day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4 from the group stage, it only means that moving on to the playoffs and the grand finals, I'll be more confident enough to be crowned as champion.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Confidence would be there. But here's one thing about confidence. Confidence is a double-edged sword because at some
I
point,
agree.
if you
Good
are
point.
like if you're winning all those gunfight, it would look like your opponent is not that competitive against you. Though there's a lot of competition. We've seen Leap, we've seen OBS, we've seen like even Delta and Rigid go in for the fight. But since they pull away from all that group in terms of numbers, in paper, it looks like they are much stronger and there's not so much of contention. But we still want to see how they are going to go against each other once the groupings has been combined in knockout stage. And that's why that is one potential factor or determining factor of who's going to grab that championship. Is there any changes in terms of their game style, or can someone be better if you're going against a much stronger set of teams like in the knockout stage and the grand finals?
Well, that is something that we need to see. I'm so interested to see the teams who are from the Group A, top 5 teams, and from the Group B, top 5 teams who are fighting against each other. Like the point that I'm making earlier, like it's something that they really wanted to see and prove that they can win, they can dominate,
Mhm.
they can be dominant. But moving on to the grand finals, facing in the top teams from the Group A and Group B, one match or 3 matches just to be crowned as champion. Is that something that I'll be afraid of? I think not, because of my confidence, right? Is
Mhm.
that something that I need to change moving forward? Maybe yes, because I know for a fact that the teams that I'll be fighting will be the greatest teams
Yeah.
in BR community.
Yeah, I do definitely agree with all those points, but we'll have to see though. We'll have to see. I mean, we're still in the group stages. I know that some of the teams have a great potential of being the best as well in this game. It's not just Four Kings, Leap. We've mentioned them so many times. OBS, we've seen them from the beginning of the game, and that's why they managed to go up in terms of leaderboard. Even Delta. I mean, Delta, they didn't get any victory just yet, but from Bunny's effort from yesterday, from the whole squad, like managing to go against top dogs like IE earlier, it seems like there's still great potential for this team despite of the failure of day number 1, and that's what we want to see. Now going into Group B right now, before we head into their own blackout mode or blackout map, we have IE Exodus leading the fray, but Rigid TSG is very close behind.
Well, doing the math, It's 2 points, brother. It's
Mhm.
2 points.
Yeah, not that difficult, bro.
That difficult. I know. That's why I'm so confident. And speaking of confident, talking about the teams, if they have so much confidence when we start the blackout map. As you can
Yeah.
see, it was really a close battle in terms of points from IEX, Aduz, and Rigid.
Mhm.
What's going to happen to the Blackfire? They managed to perform well earlier. They got
Yeah.
the victory. Looking at the top four teams, they got all of the victories from any matches. So it's just a matter of time can tell who will be the team who will rise and what would be the banner that they can wave at the end of the round.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, I was also focusing on some of the teams that is tied, like Kosa as well as Four Kings. I mean, they have both 46 points in total, but the only difference is, Kosa has more elimination against the Four Kings. That's Four Kings Overload. So that's already throwing them off. If they want to beat them, at least get as much elimination as possible. Because in terms of placement, Kosa is not really worried about placement. 7 placement points against the 17 that Four Kings has. But once everything's changed, once everything starts off in this blackout mode, this is where it might begin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kosa and Kosa and Four Kings are the ones, are they the ones battling in Ghost Town? Because that would
Correct.
be the initial contention, the initial rivalry, and then on the board they're tied up. So it's just up to who's going to win the Ghost Town if they chooses to drop there.
We're making some rivalry right now, which is really good
I
in
wanna
terms
see
of
that.
any competition. Yep, in terms of competition, there's always a rival,
Yeah.
rival teams, which makes it more interesting watching this kind of tournament. Right, we know for a fact the Four Kings had a hard time winning the position from Casa. The only time that they got that position, they got the dog tag, is when Casa get inside of the zone because
Yeah.
they're taking good care of their HP. It's kind of like they're losing a lot of resources already because of a lot of teams keeps on coming back onto the same location. So the question there, are they gonna go ahead? Are they gonna go ahead and drop onto the same location? Are they gonna fight to each other once again? I'm so excited to see that one.
All right. I mean, I just want to go to the point, like, it's more of an ego thing anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
who's going to win the fight in the same spot?
bragging rights.
It's more of a bragging rights. All right, you won earlier, and now we're going to come back. But it be the same. But it be the same story. But I don't know. I mean, if they want that dominance, I think they need to think it through. It's more of, yes, you can be a great team. But if you're faltering, if you're falling down early into the beginning of the game, then you need to make better decisions. So let's see if decisions would be made right now, because Group B's blackout map is about to begin. And speaking of flight path, I don't think anyone would be reaching Ghost Town at this point. It's very, very far. So we've seen a lot of turbine contention because of the double chopper that we have there. And those smart enough can grab one chopper, leave the place, and then head to a different part of the map wherein it's difficult to reach because of the flight path that we have right now.
Oh my God, they're challenging you, brother. They're challenging you.
Uh-huh.
Team Q and Team E
All right.
into the Ghost Town. Oh my God, they managed to go down to the Ghost Town. And first blood that I just heard right here from 4VK, one player was knocked down onto the ground. Not sure what happened, but Four Kings is the one that we are seeing right now from the POV. But too unfortunate from 4VK. Same thing with NXC as well. They're also losing one player. KM2 fighting against NXC this time. Dream is the one on the POV. 3 teams, 3 different colors that we are seeing right now fighting against each other. Who will be winning this position? Who will be winning this map? Is that KM2? Is that going to be Dream? Rotating
no.
right now. Iban. Oh my God, you got to run. You got to hide because few more shots. You will be out. It's a good thing he managed to do some reset, brother.
Oh no! You jinxed it, bro! You jinxed it! You
Oh my
called it a
God.
little bit too quick.
I'm really
You called
sorry.
it a little too quick. Imagine.
Oh my God.
We're only in the first, two and a half minutes of the game, and 3 teams already eliminated. It seems like the rivalry as well as the fight is starting to heat up. And and because of that, some teams are making the wrong decisions, similar to what we've seen earlier from Dream. Once the elimination has happened from one or two players, that could have been the time that they pull away. But no, they took time. Only one remains, and well, Dream's not alive at this point. But for Kosa, they will be seeing one player from Immortal Esports, but Hasbu, or rather Rinka, managed to go for a payback. Rinka goes in for another one, but Grab would not be rapping anymore, not even dancing into the ground, and he will be taken out. Now, Immortal Esports, recovery of a chopper as well as a revive onto Glue would be beneficial for them. They have 3 eliminations already, and they're far away from the rest of the team, so they can loot up and prepare for the next battle.
Great usage of the wings as well, because they're trying to rotate and check if there are any remaining opponents. That's one of the gameplays that we are seeing best from Immortals Esports. But looking and checking another team right now, that's your Four Kings Overload, and definitely they got some cash, trying to share, trying to buy and upgrade their classes. Maybe that's going to be the priority. If I don't see that one, I think they're trying to save a lot of cash just to buy their own arsenal. So far so good from the Four Kings. And going back to Casa, Islao is the only player after having some grueling match a while ago from Immortals Esports. And this one that I'm talking about, am I going to Jinx once again? Oh my god, what is going on? Islao getting a lot of damages. That's a quick rotation from Immortals Esports, and that's the perfect usage of the wings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, once you got that visibility, especially with the chopper, you might be able to spot out Islao going in for that pickup. Now, it seems like there's no pickup that will be happening for dog tags and the rest of the team. It will be very, very far away. Even Hasbu has a greater potential of chasing down Islao, and no, he stopped.
Oh my god.
See if he'll be able to go in for a takedown, but a shockwave and probably a reversal. And there goes Hasbu, a little bit too aggressive, going solo, and I don't think that should have been the play. At least have one player to help you out. It gives Islao, that chopper, a chance to revive his teammates if he makes it in time, and Kosa is still probably get a full squad.
That's a great exchange. We don't see that one coming. And
I was expecting it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was expecting it. Going solo. I didn't really see that Isla was a shockwave, but shockwave against a hacker. That's you can see the difference out there in terms of offense. So
he was surprised. He was surprised.
He was surprised, and I'm happy.
He's not able to react out there. And yeah, speaking of reaction, Sanma is trying to react, but too late because of that push from 4VK. Great job out there, and we are seeing right now Leap and Bow annihilating them all, but we're still seeing RVH's instinct. Got his own instinct that he needs to get away because he knows for a fact that he won't be able to make it if he's going to fight against the complete squad of the Leap main team.
See, I mean, Leap's taking Leap at this point for BK. Unfortunate for them, they have been taken down. Now, airdrop has been gathered, has been acquired by RGB Rigid Sekre, and Islao. I'm not quite sure if he managed to revive his teammates, but he has been taken down from a vehicle explosion. And if in case that didn't happen, then it is very unfortunate. But it seems like Kosa is out of the picture. Now we have 13 teams remaining. Poison Ivy right now putting the pivot onto Axis, and Axis will be falling down and into the target of the squad.
What kind of axis we're talking about? Is that a Y? Is that an X?
Z. Z axis.
Z axis. Here we go. Let's see if that's going to be a Z axis. But we are seeing V. It turns out to be the victory we are seeing from the Poison Ivy. Great job. 5 kills right off the bat. And having a complete squad and owning this location, that would be enough for them to find a better juices.
Oh, no.
Leap, oh my god, what is going on from Leap fighting against Rigid TSG? And that's an individual prowess that we are seeing right now. And Aspect doing some reset, you got to be careful because it might explode in no time if Rigid will be attacking you, getting closer. And that's what I'm talking about. Oh my god, and Aspect saying goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, Aspect and Leap would say goodbye. Rigid right now seems like a little bit strong in that fight, but they need to move. The Blues closing in, and they might lose out any position later on. But Four Kings overload. Well, they're not overloading at this point. They are controlling their energy, and this is good. I want to see more survivability coming from the team. And once you get enough placement point, put yourself on position better, and then that's where you get those elimination. That would be a
Airdrop
more viable approach to get that victory. As we look into the zone right now, into the map right now, two teams, make that three teams in Hydro Dam, but it's very close as to where they will be moving next. What I'm worried about is where Team Q would be coming from, because it's far travel towards the next phase of the circle.
If they have some vehicles, that's a good help for them. But if not, it's going to be a great challenge because of the damages that they will be getting. And same story from the Poison Ivy brother, because they're still outside of the zone. Although it's still early, but the damage is still a damage. You got to be careful with the gatekeep gameplay of your opponents. It's a good thing right now. We don't see any other teams patiently waiting for them just to be inside of the circle. That's good enough from Poison Ivy. Maybe they know that already. And seeing earlier from the Four Kings, they got a high ground and only unfortunate because the circle is definitely shrinking. Same thing with the Blackfire. They're trying to be ready, trying to roam around, and what a great maneuver that we're seeing from Fire Red, and also trying to take their chances to connect some few shots from the most wanted, which is the OG teams that we have in Call of Duty mobile community.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Blackout, this is where I would use an FHJ. And the two players from Most Wanted could have gone that far, but Red says, I am reading you like a book. I've read you as if it is the back of my hand, and I will chase you towards the end of the earth. Now, for elimination for Blackfire, and there's still a few that they can deal with later on. But speaking of dealing, Poison Ivy, despite of them pulling away from Hydro Dam, Poison Ivy made a U-turn and fought against Four Kings. And the only question though is, are they still alive to go back into the fight?
Let's see if they will be able to survive. But right now, if we're talking about surviving, Blackfire turns out managed to help out one of their teammates, which is Berto, going back into his feet. And same thing. That's the time to where they can do some reset, taking the advantage of the supply box available from this area. Great job so far, but no engagement in terms of number of kill points. They are good, but they need to do some extra so that they will have a better chance in terms of ranking by being part of the top 2 or top 1 maybe, because currently they're on 3rd ranking in terms of overall for this group. So let's see how it goes. So far so good from this twin turbine, and I don't see any other engagement. I don't see any other teammates, but let's see if we're going to change the team. Checking out 4Ks. This is the one that we were seeing earlier. Holy Father being caught off guard, and it's kind of like a visual bug that we are seeing earlier, because at first we saw that they still have a complete squad, but so far right now what we're seeing, Remy is the only player taking his time, roaming around, and looking for better plans and getting the dog tags of his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, what happened there for Four Kings Overload is because Poison Ivy just went back. I mean, I don't know whose fault is it. Who gave them the idea? Because I saw them riding away from that Hydro Dam. But now they are at a loss. Four Kings is not now a loss at this point and would need plenty of time to recover. Now, for Four Kings, I think pickup has been
Oh,
done, and Remy even spotted one. Another
oh, another
one
one.
would be joining him, coming from that revive, and that could be another elimination. But all I have to do is wait, not only for the opponent, but also his teammates. So he has plenty of time. A little bit of misdirection being used by Remy and goes in for the chase, but I think Melvs had a head start already. Grabbed a few of those weapons and might be able to fight back.
Oh my God, is that gonna be a fight back that we're about to witness? Although,
Oh,
just to add more info to what happened earlier, that's really a great awareness from Remy because he knows that he's losing a lot of HP fighting one of the players of Axis, and Malv able to somehow survive. And also, he's being aware that I don't waste some time because I need to wait for my teammates. And true enough, because of his teammates, Axis Melvs got knocked down on the ground, and this is the perfect chance for the Four Kings to be inside of the circle to avoid any further damages.
yeah, I mean, there's plenty of time, I believe, for them to move into the next phase of the circle as well as loot up, but it's more of the distance that they need to travel. I saw that there is a vehicle, but I think that was only a two-seater, so it would not be easy for the other two to get back on track. Now, for KM2, let's see if there's a chance for them to survive a little bit longer and probably challenge those on surrounding area. And speaking of challenge, there goes Assassin for a takedown. Now, Poison Ivy has been pulled in to the fray, into the battle. Bane needs to be picked up. Or Kyle TZ needs to be picked up, and the dog tag of Bane needs to be scanned as well. Now, for the rest of the teams, there's a lot of engagement that would be happening in this part of the circle because we are now on the third phase, I believe, and getting into the fourth once it closes out. And I want to see who's going to bring back their teammates, stick together, and grab that victory.
Being in the mid part of the game is a great story already and a great survival instinct. And true enough, because Poison Ivy having a complete squad and they're on a mission to really patiently wait to one of their teammates after scanning the dog tag to do some regroup because they really need it. Because right now, as we are seeing KM2 and VVV, they're all in the open area going outside of the zone. That's going to be very brave because Kuzma doesn't have any chance and looking for a better position to where he got a good cover in defense, and that's the one that I am talking about. But because of the damage that he got outside the circle, that's an easy kill coming out from Ryu, and KM2 is about to do some regroup right now. They really need it because who knows? There might be another team that can do the same gameplay, doing some third party. Although he's definitely using that Snowbee to create some space, but also you need to be aware. And Kyle TZ with a 1v1, not able to make it.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, we've seen one player from KM2 who's trying his best to catch up to the zone, but Poison Ivy started off a battle with their teammates, and Ryu right now putting a lot of pressure. Let's see if Kyle TZ can still be scanned and if there's still time for that to happen. Ryu right here on the Snowbee. All I have to do is turn around and might be able to take down one player from Most Wanted, but no, he's not prioritizing on that. Despite of him not getting those dog tags, he's still moving forward and trying for survivability. Now, with the loss of Kyle TZ as well as Bane, will Poison Ivy still be that aggressive, or will they slow down, especially as everyone's very close to each other? But Sekres says no, Bane would be taken out. They are not given a chance to go for the pickup.
Oh my God. True enough, they're not able to get that pickup, and Blackfire is also out there losing the chances and doing some regroup. In fact, Loki is the only one that I'm seeing right now roaming around the map, trying to survive longer, getting inside of any buildings, finding some better resources. Rigid having a complete squad. And in terms of number of kills, they are definitely having 2-digit kills right now. But in terms of Four Kings, I don't see any 2 digits right here. But in terms of rankings, they really need to do more because they are, I think, if I remember it correctly, they're at the 5th place in terms of ranking. Looking back to the Poison Ivy and VVV, they're also doing some great challenge targeting KM2, swimming in from Rigid Esports Stellar. Let's see if that's going to be successful. Although it's really an added pressure because who knows, your opponent might be swimming in as well and might be the
Yep.
first one attacking you and annihilate you.
Now, with the numbers out there by Rigid Esports, as well as the remaining players from IE,
Oh
it
my God.
seems like after this game, Rigid would be taking the #1 spot. But Rio right now, not even playing around, takes down Kuzma, only Rora and Tassan, or only Rora that needs to be dealt with. And, oh, he didn't move left. He didn't move left. Got away from Rora. Got away from a potential bait and switch situation, but on the other side, despite of how much we want to see Rigid survive longer, Blackfire putting pressure on Rigid, taking one player down, and Blackfire is still a pull squad, I believe, for Four Kings. They have spotted Poison Ivy. I believe this is round number 3 between these two teams.
Engaging the enemies.
The pressure is on, brother. And you were right in saying that this is going to be the third time facing each other. Poison Ivy outside of the zone with a 2v1 situation. An easy kill from Tokyo. PJ's the next target. Cloud as well being thrown. Snowy trying to be inside of the circle. That's really a great idea. KM to Ryu doing some Hadouken, able to grab another knockdown. And Blackfire is also having a great number of soldiers, which is one of their advantages. They just really need to be clever on how to use it. But Cal TC, can you imagine? He's in the air using the free style movement and using that Snowy, but the aim is clearly perfect. Aiming his and knocking him down from the air.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a sniper shot like that is something else. And that takedown is, we don't see it often. But Remy, I think he has spotted one. Sekure is being quiet, but misdirection. Misdirection is available. And no! Sekure managed to wait up and grab another elimination. Being solo, it doesn't matter. He has 8 elimination already and close to giving the team a full 20. Now, it has denied the potential for Four Kings as well to win this battle, slowly losing their players. But the Sekre finally will be taken down by Luki. And I am seeing only 3 teams remaining. Ryu going in for the push. Smoke Bomber has been released, and it's more of a getaway. Now, he needs to get back. He needs to get back in the zone because the Blues eating him up. And this might be it. It is evident. He don't want to go in for a fight. And there goes the victory for a different team. Definitely not KM2.
Oh my God. And that's the one that we are talking about. It's like losing a choice of having a better position. It's like too late for them to move in just to save some HP. And just to give some recap on what happened out there, Sekre being powerful enough, doing some close quarter. It's kind of like a one top only, getting that kill point, and surprises to where his opponent is not able to react. And seeing the highlights right now, a lot of great battles going on from this Group B, to where we are seeing a lot of actions from the Turbine, Chopper, cleverness gameplay we are seeing from Poison Ivy and Immortals Esports, clearly able to use the wings at their advantage by chasing their opponents. And we were surprised earlier, although you were not, because if you remember Hasbull from Immortals Esports using that wings, he's just being alone and being brave enough to attack for a 1v1, but in his surprise, he's the one losing the game.
Yeah, I might not be that best at the game, but I've seen so much of matches wherein it's a 50-50. I mean, 50-50 means you have the view from the other side as well that Hasbu would not win that fight, and I was expecting that. And then the moment I see the opponent getting or using a shockwave, I knew at that moment that he's gone. But it doesn't matter. IE still managed to put up a great fight. But for everyone's information, the one who grabbed the victory from that battle once again was Blackfire. So definitely this I would accept a back to back from isolated to blackout.
There you go. Oh my God. They changed the narrative now, brother.
Yeah.
Because we are saying earlier that we won't be seeing any same logo,
Yeah.
same banner. But right now, Blackfire appearing to isolated and blackout. So it only means that all of the soldiers from Blackfire are really on fire.
Yeah, I mean they are on fire despite of how light or black it is. As long as they are on the board, I'm ready to accept it. And this time, 1 elimination from Berto, 6 from Red, 7 from Luki, and 4 from Nash. Back on the board would be Blackfire, a different MVP overall, which is Luki. And I'm loving that there's a different face that would be representing the team. It shows the dominance and adaptability of the team themselves, because it's only not one player who's doing quite well, but it's more of a balance of both. Berto, I know how aggressive he is, and that's one reason as well why he always fall down a little bit too early and not even making that much of a point. But it gives an opening to either Red or Luki or Nash, especially Nash on the sniper, to be able to do his work from afar. But our MVP, Blackfire Luki.
Congratulations with 7 elimination from Blackfire Luki, and clearly he's ahead of the game. Earlier it was Nash DC, and true enough that this squad clearly showing how good they are. They got the pro caliber skills. They are really composed in terms of their skills. They got the mechanical skills that they're looking for in a pro player, and also the balance, because they have different roles, they have different classes, and maybe I can say I don't know, but forgive me, Berto. What I'm seeing from the gameplays of Berto, he's like the bait of of from the squad, because he keeps on showing some aggressiveness, and too unfortunate, he keeps on being the first one to knock down.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's part of the plan, it's good.
Right.
As long as the plan is, all right, go ahead, Berto, you go first, either Red or Berto. We've seen that. Isolated, it was Red or alternate of Red and Berto, who is always in the front line. And we know why Nash is always in backline, because he's more of a long-range engager. And Luki is that adaptable from both sides, so from both ends of the spectrum. So if that's part of the plan, like one goes in first, gather information, or probably provide early damage to the opponent, then so be it. As long as you get that victory, as long as you get a decent amount of elimination, then you would still be on the top of the board. But speaking of the top of the board, we're going to see who's on top of the board after that match for the match ranking of Group B in Blackout. And well, definitely the Blackfire would be in there. They do have the black on their name, so definitely this is a signature for them. Rigid TSG though follows through with 23 points on second place. KM2 Hades, one of the teams that I've seen great potential to be able to deny some of the teams right now in getting points. And the rivalry between Poison Ivy and 4King Overload from Hydrodam towards the final moment, it still continues, but it seems like Poison Ivy was a winner in that fight.
They got some skills.
Yep.
Team Atlas clearly showcased that they can fight for the top teams that we have in VR community. And great job, because they're being consistent, having 2-digit kill points, and because of that, having that kind of number of eliminations, we will be seeing some changes in terms of overall rankings. As you can see, still on top, Rigid TSG with 117, and few points only difference from the Blackfire. Although they are being consistent, had a back-to-back, 2 wins, 2 victories, as you can see right there, but they're missing some few points just to be on top. But that's not still bad, because, you know, again, the numbers cannot lie.
Yep.
Can you imagine 3 teams able to hit 100 plus points? It only means that they are doing well into the battlefield.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Blackfire right now, after ending third from yesterday and is in a huge disparity against the top two teams are now slowly coming back. And the reason for that is because they put themselves twice on the board. First on isolated, next on blackout. So in terms of survivability, they have it. In terms of getting the victory, they have it. In terms of being the largest number on that final circle, they have it. Now, I want to see more on that game number 6 from a different team. From a different team,
Well,
not Blackfire, from a different team. I mean, I'm not bored of seeing Blackfire. It's just that I want a little bit of contention. And I'm pretty sure there would be some other team that can deny them on getting a three-peat for today.
well, just like the saying goes, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody-
Very relatable. Very relatable.
and because you keep on saying they have it, they have it, but you can't have it all.
unless you're a mall here in the Philippines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my
Unless you're a
God.
mall here in the
That's the
Philippines.
reason why I love working with you, Lemson. You know what
You-
my jokes are. Oh my
you know
God.
how you know how uncles are. You know how uncles are. We have that some sort of telepathy. But anyways, that ends it for another set of round in blackout mode. That is 4 matches overall. We still have 2 matches to go. Before we go there, we're going to go for a quick break. When we return, the battle continues in isolated. I'm Neptune Gentleman Garcia, joined by Super Clark. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Airdrop has been delivered.
してくれ Great homies どんな時も Side by side 止まるな止まるな Go to the end ためらうなよ Baseline life その手で今 Make it come We're to the ball We're to the ball To precious 止まるな止まるな Go to the end
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, and we've seen 4 matches already, 2 more to go. Back in the desk, I am Neptune Gemma Garcia, joined by the one and only Super Clark, and we are your casters for today, and a lot of excitement has been brought in by both of our groups. So far, only one team has dominated 2 of the maps that they have played in, and that is in Group B. That is Blackfire. Now, the only question is, will there be anyone in Group A that would be doing a repeat? Or if my wish would be given, then we might be able to see a different one.
Let's see if Brother Neptune is looking for a different team. Me, I'm gonna look for OBS main. Where you at? Where you at, OBS main? You had a great start, but I don't see another OBS main logo from our map. But right now, it's like a reset. We are moving back to the isolated map. So let's see how it goes. If we might be seeing another OBS main logo or a different, maybe Bridget or Poison Ivy Team Atlas, VVV, who knows? IEX and Deuce, it's been a long time right now. It's been a while. I don't see them.
It's been a while. It's been a while that we've seen them, and I want to see some of their performance really at this point. Now, I believe we are ready to see Group A back at it again in isolated, and this is where all the chaos will begin because of the addition of Gulag. Right? There's still an insurance policy in case you risk it from the earlier part. So we didn't see that much from the earlier game, from the first game in isolated, but when we switch into Group B, that's where a lot of contention has happened. Now, back into Group A in isolated, now that they have their own drop spot, I believe another slow match would happen and more of survivability will be built in.
Which is I really love to see from all of the teams from the Group A. And speaking of the Group A, we're definitely starting the isolated match. This is the 5th match for tonight's battle. Let's see how it goes. As you can see right here, we are starting the path at the middle. It's kind of like a little bit of northwest and northeast. In checking, definitely someone will be dropping off from the farm. We have the T3 refinery already with the two teams, so I'm not sure if we're going to start a case right away or not, because isolated, this is really a different strategy when you play in a gulag mode.
All right, now I'm seeing a little bit of contention onto New Vision City, but I'm wrong. They are targeting Pier, and what I love about Pier is the mods that you can pick up out of Pier.
Gold.
Yeah, the gold mod.
Yeah.
So that's one of the underrated drop spot that the teams are not taking advantage of. But speaking of taking advantage, they're taking advantage of all the chaos and looking at that first phase of the circle. Everyone up north would need to grab either a chopper, their snowboard, any vehicle to move fast because they would need it unless they want to start all those engagement happening already, especially in the ski town. I think some of the players like the Fort Kings would be in there, and that would be a threat to those who would be meeting them along the way.
Well, it is really a threat from any other opponents. Just like we know for a fact that Four Kings clearly starting with a passive and ending with a strong battle.
Yeah.
That's why we are seeing that they're rocking 126 total points and being on rank 1. It clearly states that they really got the skills and no one won't be able to annihilate them. But I might be wrong, but this might be a different story because we just started the match going back to isolated map. So let's see how it goes, because checking out the F8, well, they really need to do something different right now, because looking at the rankings, as you can see, they're really one of the bottom teams that we have. So it only means they need to do a lot of extra effort in order for them to have better chances of winning from any gunfights.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it is not
My
working
God.
at this point. Elfie will be the first one
I
to go
jinxed it
down.
again, brother.
I mean, a caster curse. I do believe that.
Oh
The
my
moment
God.
that you try to motivate, there's a huge chance that they will be the first one going down. But let's see, for the side of BVV, they have lost Van, but they managed to go and pay back against Hype. But the pickup has been done already, and this might force Karma as well, Sev as well as Seagon to move out, but they will be funneled in, and there goes the shockwave being put into, and Seb will be going down once again. Seagon, I believe, has been with only a few HP, will be knocked down, and it's up to Karma right now, being challenged by 2. Now, there's a little bit of Heady that he can work with, but unfortunately, he's not making any progress in going in for a takedown, and he would be going into the gulag with only one player in or back in play. Now, there's still more chances for VVV, but Hype has more elimination from the first few minutes of the game.
Great energy showing by the Hype. Clearly, they're hyping the game itself because of that number of eliminations right off the bat. And checking out Team E right here, Faldrus. What is going on with Faldrus? Looking at the rankings, they're on top 12. Well, it's not really bad in terms of rankings, but at least if they want to do more, they might be part of the top 10 teams, right? And be or secure a spot moving into the grand finals as well. So that's really, I can say, we keep on talking about earlier, a bragging rights, because having a good rankings, that's something, a story that you can share to your brothers, right? To your community, to your clan, to where that, hey, I'm so proud being in this kind of rankings. And Hansu from LSK being knocked out on the ground because Jambiol with a one top using BY15.
Yeah, the BY15 right now. I keep missing seeing this weapon in play. Not a lot. I haven't used this for quite some time. I have been a sniper overall and an AR, so a rifler and sniper, because I keep my distance. I don't win. Because of the movement, I don't have that much movement, so I love seeing I love seeing players go with BY15. Now, as we look into Four Kings right now, they have no contention after coming from Ski Town and still are inside of the blue. So it's not so much of damage though. It takes a while before they get into or receive a few of those HP or reduction, but I think they will need to move in onto the next phase of the circle. But as we can see, we have VVV Sev, who managed to take down Mabro from FD, and this gives them a chance to pull away from how close it is between IE and Rage, Radiance, CF Amarok, and let's include Valdros as well.
Right. We are seeing the rankings and stuff, so it only means that they really need to go back to the drawing board, talk about it, and have some changes in terms of gameplay. Speaking of changes of gameplay, we are seeing a great progress from the leap and bound because they're really needed in terms of ranking. Looking at the overall, although they're on top 2 with 87 total of points, it's not bad as well to still perform because it's still because when these person or a lot of players that we have right now playing in this battlefield, they're all streamers, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you go live, you can brag about to all of your supporters that hey, our ranking is clearly on top, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that they're really focusing on. Even if they're really on rank 2, they wanted to do more, and that's evident from the leap and bound. Checking out Four Kings at the same time, they're really having a huge amount of kill points, and right now they're outside of the zone preparing. This is the chance right here to secure another loadout. From there, we will see some aggressiveness from the Four Kings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you can see on their cash, they are zeroed out, except for Yato, who only has 6K. It's because they did bought their own airdrop arsenal. So it's we seldom see that. Not a lot of people risk spending all those cash, but they don't have no contention, and they need to be prepared. Because I did mention that they're far away from next phase of the circle, and they might be able to move fast, but once they are in there, a lot of fight might be ensuing. But speaking of fight, Juice right now, despite of only being solo at this point, might be able to give out a good fight. Unfortunately, Sairi would be saying sayonara, and they will be getting their 7th. Yeah, sorry. Sayonara, sorry.
I thought that's what you're about to say because it's clearly rhyming. But yeah, that's how it is in a great battle that we saw from LE. And checking out the map, thank you so much from our Mr. Control. One of the players from Team G. Oh, I think the whole team of Team G are really far. Same thing with Team C. So a lot of effort that they really need to do. I'm assuming that they got their own vehicle. Same thing with Pave. If you remember and seeing the killer feed earlier, Pave got a chance to fight Rigid Phoenix to where it was really a grueling match. In fact, some of the players being caught off guard and losing the battle from the Rigid Phoenix. Same thing, what is going on right now, they're changing the story, they're changing their path right here. Even if they're still outside of the zone, they're also performing and getting more kills. As of the moment, we're seeing 6 kills in total, but Hajime having some great challenge and difficulties. He's definitely on the ground.
Now, I got a glimpse of one of the players of VVV in the football field, and at least he's safe. He is safe for the moment. You won't be shot down, but no, Seagon has been taken down on the kill feed, but Four Kings, Yato managed to go in for a takedown as well. Now, one elimination for the Four Kings, not so much. I know that this is not how Four Kings are, but we also understand that some of the players would choose to be passive in the beginning, and then later on, that's where we will see aggression. But unfortunately, Yato will be taken now by Delta, who was hanging outside of the zone as well, and Ge has an opportunity to go in for a shot on Jemyol, but Jemyol was just a little bit too fast to get away from Ge. Tom Peeps, though, not quite sure what the angle from Tom Peeps is, but he has an opportunity to go in for a 2-man approach in this rush, but they're not taking that much of a risk. They don't want to go down that path, and they want to make sure that they are still in a good spot later on.
Well, even if they got a better angle, they're still struggling. And right now, they're still trying to secure that spot because Super Jeff still being brave to close out the gap, even if he just, came back from the flight. And right now, Super Zev is also helping out the team. Team Delta rotating, doing some reset. Let's see if there will be any great outcome from the Four Kings. And here we go with a shockwave being activated. LE being knocked out. Gay is being powerful. Oh my god, great job. 5 total kills from the Four Kings, and Gay with a shockwave. That's really perfectly executed, class.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Get would be one of the best in the shockwave because he can push his opponent and his accuracy is on point as well. For the rest of the teams right now, Yato would be on the gulag and the Four Kings would need to move as well because the is closing in. A little bit of stun action on to IE as VVV is trying to go get away from harm. But that was smart though. Van would need to move a little bit faster, and he did. It's more of an armor that received a little bit of damage, but it seems like Van might be in trouble later on because Pave is also paving their way towards VVV's annihilation, and they have managed to take down 2 already.
Going up to the hill, changing the location, paving away from Pave, but Immortals Esports still on top, doing some gatekeep. That's too dangerous from Pave, even if they know what to do, even know where they know where to go. But right now, VVV, this is the one that Brother Neptune is telling earlier, Bap being caught off guard by High Fallen SC and checking out Immortals Esports, getting some damages outside of the zone with at the very edge of this rocky mountain, which is really a good vantage point, but there's no any other opponent, so I think this is going to be the perfect time for them to be inside of the zone to save some more HP before having another battle.
Yeah, let's see. Well, as you can see right now, the zone is still closing, or will be closing in, and the next phase is still open for anyone to take. Now, again, good chance to spot out Leap, but Leap will not be that careless. And there goes the jump, and Takashi would be taken out. There goes Void also on the help. Just make sure the pickup can be done for Leap. Dugo takes down Kites, and Gare right now jumps into the battle, and let's see if Legem can survive this fight, this onslaught. But it seems like despite of all that power, they have little chance to go against the entire squad of Four Kings. But one good thing that happened in that fight is they managed to get 3 elimination and brought 4 Kings, or 3 players from 4 Kings into the gulag.
Great job for doing some third party from the Four Kings. That's the one that we saw. That's why they pushed some of the players of Leap and Down and managed to annihilate some of the players of Legem. In fact, they won the battle in terms of position and also collected a lot of kills from that map. And meanwhile, seeing some other teams right now is being quiet for them, but seeing them having a complete squad is a good sign because they have more opportunities to really perform well as a group. Rigid Phoenix is still out there, so let's see if there will be any other battle going on or any engagement from any mansion that we are seeing right here, trying to look for a better angle in terms of Immortals Esports. This is one of the highlights that we have last night. If you remember Tom Pips,
Yep.
right on the roof and surprising his opponent, but this time we are seeing the complete squad of Rigid Phoenix and Immortals Esports, one player from Delta, Ellie.
Yeah, let's see. We still have 15 teams in this battle. My bro going for the takedown against Fry, diminishing their chance of getting another victory. Asta right now, a little bit of hack using that ice pick, and we'll try to go in for reposition. And this is what we're talking about. Falzos would need to survive a little bit longer to be able to overtake some of the teams like CF, Radiance, as well as IE and Rage. But speaking of Enrage, seems like the ones playing in that compound will be enraged overall because he couldn't make any hits land. Now, Maki from Rigid, the sole survivor for the team right now, as the rest of the teams are trying to make their way from the gulag back into this area. Though they have 7 eliminations already, they will need to go and be quiet because IE is swarming them.
And it is clearly difficult for Maki because He doesn't have any support. Oh my God, someone doing some flank from behind. Yonko. Oh my God, he didn't see that one coming. That's the key of doing some flank. It was freaking effective. And right now we're seeing a different team. OBS Quasi, he's also one of the OGs in BR community, one of the best players as well. And Fry flying down already after winning the battle into the Gulag Zero, joining the Rigid and Yonko Apex. Let's see if Gio will still be having another surprise and getting another kill.
Yeah, let's see though. Yonko managed to survive a little bit more at this point. Opportunity to surprise anyone, and OBS Paul will be spotted. Shots made with an XPR, but they need to move because their location has been exposed. But do they have an opening on the other side? I guess they do, and they will be able to flank through and get away from harm. Go for a little bit more of survival. As we look at OBS, yes, they lost Clody earlier, but now they have an opportunity to bring him back. Now, for Asta, he is, well, there's no buyback that will be happening for FD. My bro doing the same thing all over again, using that misdirection to distract their opponents and really lead them away from his position, but the Blues closing in and he's being eaten up.
And it's clearly working for the Fall Drews. And you were right in saying that the circle is definitely shrinking. Right now, we're seeing 4 Kings being ready for that circle and also securing another airdrop from this area. They got a good angle. So you can see right here, what a better formation that we are seeing from 4 Kings. Checking and being aware from the surroundings is one of the keys in order for you to secure your loadouts. That's a complete loadout right now. So you got to be careful fighting against 4 Kings. And speaking of being careful, we are seeing Team J right now not showing any aggressiveness, trying to make sure that they can attack, they can fully confirm the kill, and being committed to finish the fight, fighting against Yonko. Let's see who will grab that win. Hacking it out already. A better preparation that they can do right now fighting against Yonko, and that's going it. Another knockdown, 2 Ps right away. Oh my God, but good trade happening already. They can definitely do some gatekeep, and one of the players from Yonko is really in a bad situation, and that's a good annihilation from LE, and true enough, they won a battle.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, who they did win the battle, but the war might be over for some of the players. Sairi would be saying, sorry, pick me up, help me, because the Blues closing in. A lot of teams would be falling down. Gab might be next, and he does. Even the pro didn't survive that long. 10 teams remaining, and for the viewers out there, now put in the chat, who do you think will be getting the victory? Who do you think will be winning this game? Who do you think would be putting themselves on the board? As the battle continues right now, as the Blue closing in. Here comes FX Academy, teaching everyone how it's done, using that hacker class and scanning, disabling all the skills that they can put up in this fight.
Oh my God, a great start from FX Academy, but losing the battle. This is the one that we keep on talking about. Although you have a better preparation, the skills and the mechanical that needs to have in order for you to be successful in playing this game and fighting your opponent, especially if you're fighting one of the prominent teams, one of the pro teams that we are seeing right now. Leap and Bound is also out there. Emotus Esports and OBS is also clearly dominating this round, as well as we saw from the first isolated round from the OBS. And clearly they're about to really showcase how good they are in playing this OBS. I mean, this isolated map. And as of the moment, high ground from most of the teams. And the question again from Brother Neptune, who will be the best team to be crowned champion?
5 teams remain. Leap and Bound with 3 players, 4 Kings on high ground, i.e. on the other side, Yato caught off guard, and this might be it for Yato. 4 Kings has lost one of the players. Carl managed to go in for the takedown against MJ, and the shot would annihilate him. Now, Leap would still have 2 players on them. Void would be 1, and another would be MJ that needs to be picked up. Now, OBS Paul try and survive, only few HP, recover a little bit, jumped away and into the hands of Leap, but Carl is being tagged. No pickup can be done. And this might be it for Leap at the moment. For OBS, also a takedown by the Blue, and Void Void being quiet, but
Oh.
unfortunately spotted by Alien, and IE managed to put themselves back in the board.
Oh my God, they proved me wrong. I asked earlier, where you at, right? Where you at Immortals Esports? And right now we're seeing
Bro,
a victory from Immortals Esports.
you know how it
Great
is.
job. Yeah, I know.
Ask
That-
and you shall receive. and we have received. We have received the present from IE.
We definitely receive it. We were seeing how great they are in playing this round, and one of the highlights that we are seeing, like the FX Academy trying to somehow use the hack and class to wear a better preparation, but we were able to determine that even if you're ready to attack and have
Yep.
all of the classes be ready, still not able to win the gunfight. So they just really need to improve their gunfight so that a great combination and a better chance of winning this fight moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of I'm seeing a lot of disparity, a lot of changes that has happened for this day, and I know some of the fans out there are looking for Four Kings to get another victory, but it seems like their rotation, even the zone, is not favoring them at that point. The timing as well is not favoring them, but at least they are putting up a good fight. The only question though is how would this bring the other teams closer to where the Four Kings is, because we've seen how the lead is by Four Kings against Leap, but Leap, I believe they didn't survive that long to catch up to the points, and it's more of the placement that 4K has the advantage of against them. But IE right now, with this victory, I think they can put themselves or maintain themselves afloat in sticking to the top 5 or 6 in the leaderboard, but at least put themselves in a 3rd place, and all throughout the remaining 2 days we might see them head off to the knockout stage.
Which is a great strategy in terms of maintaining your total points. In fact, we are seeing earlier that Leap Unbound rack up 14 kills in total before we see Immortals Esports enraging and grabbing the W at the very end, which right now I would like to say congratulations. I know I call you out, guys, asking where's the logo of Immortals Esports, and here we are. I'm surprised seeing your logo once again. Good thing that I called you out, and seeing how great you are in playing this battlefield with the MVP coming out from Carl with 8 kills in total.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 8 kills from Carl, 5 from Alien, Seiya with 2, and Nap with 1. Now, it's not even within the team, within the 4 players, but we've seen the pressure that they had to deal with, especially in the final moment. But for MVP, as I did mention, it is 8 elimination coming from Carl. He would be representing the team on the board on that MVP. Now, judging from how teams played, another team that really caught my eye is LE, because it seems like LE this time around were a little bit more tactical. Yes, in terms of placement point, they didn't get that much from that game, but elimination wise, they were slowing down in the perfect moment and catching a lot of teams off guard. Thus, LE Atheras put themselves on the board on 3rd place despite of failing a couple of times from the first 2 maps that they played in. But Leap Unbound on 2nd place. I think the catch up and the race is still on to be able to get across or to reduce the lead that 4 Kings has, but 4 Kings is just still in there on the 4th place. 14 points, making it difficult for Leap to really leap, stride, and jump against 4 Kings.
And have a better lead in terms of number of scores from 4 Kings. And true enough, I wanted to say kudos to LE, because this is the first time I'm seeing you performing this high. All right, and you guys are crazy good in terms of making a better strategy, and this is something to do on awareness, knowing on how to play isolated map, knowing on how to change your strategy playing in a blackout map. It's not all about aggression. It's not all about being brave enough to push in and being alone just to get some ambush. But in terms of this kind of tournament, it goes to shows that you know how to really win this Garena September Cup. But seeing the overall rankings, you need to do a lot of work, because in terms of ranking, where you at?
Yeah, LE,
LE,
is still
you are at
far.
top 10. Yep, still too far from being included as, as the fans is saying, being one of the top dogs in BR community.
Well, speaking of BR community, I would like to get this opportunity to ask for the viewers out there to show your support in tournaments just like this. Because with all your support, I mean support, not anything else. With all your support, Garena would see this as a good thing. It would encourage even the other viewers to see that Call of Duty Mobile is strong, is back, and can bring more of this kind of tournament. And that is up to everyone who is watching, who is playing, even for us talents who are giving our best, who are giving our energy to bring you the best show ever in terms of Call of Duty Battle Royale mode.
Is this gonna be every year now?
Well, I sure hope so. if not every year, at least every 3 months. I hope so.
Okay, all right. There you have it, guys, to all of the viewers. But before we move on, I think I heard from Mission Control that this is gonna be the break that we need to have, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think we didn't. We might be getting break, but we will be
all right.
resting a little bit as the teams are. I believe as the teams are setting up for Group B. So Group A is now or has ended their fight all throughout the day, and judging from what we've seen in the game, judging with how the teams are reacting, putting themselves in the board out there. And speaking of board, that is the victory board wherein
Yeah.
some of the teams has managed to replicate what they did map after map, but some are changing the story, flipping the script, and I want the latter to happen even more. I want the teams to flip the script, change the narrative of every team who is participating in this game, and do their best to get to the top 10 of our match. But right now, a little bit of recap, Clark, of what has happened for today.
Oh, this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. First time I saw that someone doing some back-to-back, which is from Blockfire. Great job. Immortals Esports. Late, but it's not really late because of the great performances. And we're moving on to the isolated after seeing these team logos that we have. I'm expecting what is going on with OBS, a great challenge that they had from Immortals Esports earlier. So let's see if there will be any Blackfire again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let's see. I mean, if the goal is to show sheer dominance, Blackfire would need to get that third and make it a 3-peat, make it a hat trick. Like there's only a few teams who can do that, especially on how aggressive the teams are treating this game overall, and who can prevent them from doing so. Who can take them down and like denying them the opportunity. We still have Rigid, we still have IE, and potentially also VVV. Now, as we look into Group B standings, these are the ones on the board. Blackfire only 7 points below Rigid TSG, and if in case they victor once again, they took that fight till the end once again, they might be taking that #1 spot.
All right, let's see if that's something that we can expect from them. But I want to call out another team.
Okay, which one?
I don't see Rigid Esports. I don't see any Rigid Esports logo right now. So even if they're on top in terms of overall rankings of the Group B, I want to see the Rigid logo.
All
on
right.
the last match.
Understandable, understandable. I mean, Rigid had one victory already. Blackfire had two. IE has
Yeah.
one, and VVV has their own as well. The only team on the top five that hasn't is Poison Ivy. So, if speaking of call out, I've seen their performance. I've seen how aggressive they can be. Well, Poison Ivy, this is your chance to be able to catch up. And if you get that victory, you might be able to secure your spot in this game because consistency plus an additional extra point coming from victory and aggression would help you out. So, Clark, I guess we're ready for the last game of today. Back to Group B. In Isolated, we go, and the flight path will be fair for everyone.
That's right. It's at the middle, so we might be seeing an early drop off from the overgrown dormitory in Ski Town. Someone trying to be safe, maybe choosing to be at the frigid wetland. Those are the keys, and right now they're prioritizing a map that has a buy station so that it's going to be an early for them to upgrade their classes and at the same time get some cash and buy their own loadouts as early as they plan. So let's see how it goes. This is going to be interesting match. And again, I'm calling out Rigid Esports that don't see your logo, or maybe another team, Poison Ivy, like Brother Neptune is sharing earlier. So
Yep.
who knows? But checking out Team A, that's your Four Kings Overload, if I'm not mistaken,
Round-
about to share this location from the New Vision City with 4 Valor Kings. This is how many matches now?
Round 4. This is round 4
from these two teams. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
They played 4 isolated. This is their 4th isolated, and they are still getting at it once again. Though there's still plenty of draw spot that either team can take, especially for those who are not winning that initial fight, which is 4 Kings. Sorry, 4 Kings fans, but for VK. In the early engagement, it seems like they do have that great potential, but Remy,
Oh.
that's what I want. Prove me wrong. Show me that you can win the fight and probably push 4VK away from New Vision City.
Are they going to go ahead and get away? Shockwave being activated. Thunder is the only player that I'm seeing right now from 4VK. Can he survive? That's something that we need to find out. Not moving any muzzle at all. My brother that I am seeing right now is that a super... What's his name? Superman. Oh my god. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Dear
Sanma
brother.
hoping. Yeah, Sanma is hoping to stay alive, but he's definitely on the ground. That's a great catch from the 2 players of the 4 Kings, Remy and Tokyo. They're on a chase right now,
Oh, no.
finishing this fight. This is the last round that they really need to prove that this is their turf in going into the Gulag. The fan favorite, no other than Holy Mother.
Yeah, 4VK right now scratching their bums at this point. Superman couldn't even move an inch. Now, 4VK, I guess they caught off guard already on caught already as to where the other player is, and I think it's off to the goal. There you go. And Remy and the rest taunting 4VK at this point, not even finishing, not even like ridding him of the misery of watching them loot out all those loot boxes. But going into the farm, Uncrowned Kings going against Babe. Uncrowned Kings, I'm quite sure what the plan there for Gray is, but he was just standing in there trying to survive. Dartle, the only one remaining, but a shot from the back, and there goes too easy for Jewel, showing that it's too easy for him to go for the backstab.
Airdrop has been delivered.
Pave did a great job doing some 2v1 situation. Punisher able to punish his opponent out there. Great job. And seeing the 4VK flying down already and going back to the battlefield, that's really a good sign. Another opportunity. Let's see if there will be any opportunities that we are seeing right now from Team S VE Artemis, because it's been a while that we are seeing this teams performing, and let's see if that's going to be the time to where we can see how skilled they are. But I was wrong. TMW annihilating, and we are only seeing 1 player left.
Let's see though, if one player can still survive at this point or go for the pickup. The finisher has been done, and Maui would try to fight back. Here comes Ezeki, but the slide did save Maui at that point. Annoying slide, even I would be annoyed, and Ezeki needs to back up. Now, with that AK-117, yes, you have a good fire rate, but you need to top up on the armor. A good thing that Maui managed to get into the roof, get more of a visual, as well as wait for probably potential engagement to happen between them and Zeki. But Maui into the ground, one of the players coming back, and now it turns to a 1v2.
Easy, Zeki. You don't need to be easy because that's going to be a great challenge for you. Seeing the two players looking for your location, so you got to be careful and you got to be ready as well. And right now, he's not moving any muzzle at all. That's the only thing that he can do because the mission is to stay alive, survive longer. And speaking of surviving, in terms of cash, oh my God, they can buy anything. I can buy you and your friends. Just that's the message that they are sending from the VV. I can buy you and your friends. And here we go. Easy second. That's one that I'm talking about. He did his part, trying to be patient, but loses the battle. It's a good thing he still has a gulag.
Yeah, I mean, one of the players still has Gulag. I think Zeki is up to his last revive after Gulag as well. So hopefully the final player can win out that 1v1. But for IE, a team that you and me have seen that from before, but not so much of, not so much of fight back. It's in the early parts of this game. But speaking of fight back, KM2, now, they have been aggressive earlier. Now spotting a couple of players from VVV, they might be even hungrier to get those elimination. They grabbed 39 points already after 2 days, including this one, and well, going against VVV would be tough. So moving around would be the better advantage for VVV right now to survive this longer.
Let's see how long can they be able to manage to be inside of the circle to avoid any further damages. Looking at a cash and also the KM2 trying to find some time to buy all of the resources and also having a chance to upgrade their classes to be ready to attack from the players of VVV. All of these teams right now are also outside of the zone, although Assad able to manage to find some good intel, and right now they're trying to plan to do other things to where they need to rotate. And speaking of rotation, we are seeing a different team from the New Vision City, but to unfortunate Poison Ivy, Bane is definitely saying goodbye, going back into the Gulag. Remy's definitely having the misdirection and repairing the armor at the same time. A good trade happened though from the gunfights, and Poison Ivy still surviving them, but I'm only seeing one player left.
Oh, let's see though. Poison Ivy, it might be the one being poisoned at this point. And there goes the takedown on PJ. Remy goes for the backstab with R90, but unfortunately, Winter will be knocked down. Now, Blue closing in. This might be very difficult for him to move away unless it's not that fast. And they might be able to move in a little bit closer to the edge of New Vision City. Now, for the rest of the teams right now, they need to move fast, act fast. Team K, I believe they already grabbed that Arsenal on launch base, and a couple more of Arsenal is available with the surrounding area. Dream Crushers trying to crush some of the team's dreams at this point, but unfortunately for them, they've lost Christo in the process.
Let's see if they can have a chance to do some regroup, having some adjustment that we are seeing from this battle. At your back, repairing the armor, coming up from Punisher. Can he fight back? But right now, we're seeing a different team looking at it. Rigid Stellar appearing to our killer feed, fighting against Most Wanted, and Punisher being punished, as you can see, at the very edge of this rocky mountain with a 2v1 situation back into the Gulag.
Yeah, well, let's see now. 2-3 players into Gulag right now. They lost one for Kings. Still waiting for Holy Potter to go on his way and get the team back in a full squad. Now, Chopper they have from New Vision City. They can easily get into next phase of the safe zone, but I think they're still hunting for some other players out here, but they're spending too much time. They're spending too much time, and I don't know what the plan is, but they need to move. Otherwise, a little bit of misconnect might be happening once everyone else from the other team will be waiting for them to come in.
let's see if there will be any commitment, and that's the one thing that we keep on seeing from any other teams in calling out Rigid Esports. Where's your commitment right now? I wanted to see your logo at the very end of this battle, but in terms of performance, we are seeing Four Kings being dominant, and another dominant battle that we are seeing right now for VK. Great job TMW as well, also appearing in our kill feed with a one close quarter battle, but Blackfire is also out there taking their chances. Oh, too late to react. Maui, I don't think Maui got another gulag in Blackfire. What a surprise from the hill. And Super Jody is the only player that we are seeing from 4VK.
Let's see though, are seeing a lot of elimination happening, but no confirmation for the entire squad just yet. Only one, sure enough, that would not be making it towards the end. For RVH right now, it's more of a waiting game for those in the gulag, but for Rigid, they have 4 elimination and a full squad, plenty of cash to spare, and similar to what you said, you can buy they can buy you and your friends at this point. So let's see on what else they can bring into the table right now, because in the farm I've seen a few of those engagement happening, but I think they left it right now. So we'll have to wait a few more seconds before we go in onto the battlefield. But going to your brother Superman. For VK, after they lost that fight against Four Kings, I guess they might be rethinking their drop spot, or they might be going for round 5 tomorrow.
Who knows? Who knows? It happens before. Just so you know, brother, it happens to Leap main team, Leap and Bound, and Four Kings and Four Kings Overload. Ooh. They're always fighting in the construction site from the blackout now. Yeah. But let's see if those are the things that we are excited to see from those two teams, because we keep on seeing right now that the Casa appearing in front of Immortals Esports, but not being Immortal, because Casa really trying to prove that they got some great defense and trying to show that they don't have any fear, because, you know, Cosa, from the name Cosa. You know, brotherhood, right? Yep. I've got my brotherhood here. What's up, bro? And right now, they're still surviving.
Yeah, I mean, they're still inside. And you know what I mean? If you're inside,
I
definitely
know.
you are Cosa. Now, push right now. The only sole survivor for Cosa might be seeing Maui. But it's a good thing he didn't head onto the chopper and went in for the zipline instead. Damn. Almost being taken down by one of the players from Dream in Gulag, and the first one that will be revived for this team. But this is surprising though for the team of Cosa. They only have 1 elimination at this point in time, and it seems like they might not be able to stride enough and increase that points all throughout this game unless they prove us differently. Now for KM2, I guess the aggression for this team is already paying off. A few elimination already against them, and it seems like they will need to slow down a little bit.
Can they be fast enough to change the position from outside to be inside of the circle? Let's see and find out, because that's a great challenge from KM2 LNA and Aspect. Are we going to expect a better performances from Aspect? Because right now, checking it, he got the high ground. So let's see how clever they are. What is it, brother? Go ahead.
No, I mean, you was talking about Aspect, and you know how deadly Aspect is. Once you got hit by an Aspect, you might be going down. Like that's the point of Aspect right now. I'm sorry, I had to throw it in. I had to throw it in.
I know. But let's see if there's. But let's see if there's gonna be a different prospect from Blackfire right now, because Nasty's using that sniper just to get some intel and also trying to hope to connect some few shots, but in no avail. But seeing the position of Immortals Esports, that's going to be a huge advantage. Same thing with the Leap and Bound. So let's see. Leap main team. So let's see if this is going to be effective, and let's see if there will be any great battle happening on top of the hill. If there will be one team waving their banner on top and become the kings of the hill for this match.
Let's see though. They will be the king of the hill. So far, 14 teams still alive and kicking. but the Blues closing in. A lot of engagement happening. Winter will be taken down from the hands of RGD. KM2 right now, 3 players, but on the edge of this small hill. On the other side, a lot of engagement happening, and Crown Kings losing a couple of their players, and only 2 remains, Dardle and Yaz. But only 4 elimination points overall, making it tough for them to climb up even higher. 23 points in total for Uncrowned Kings, and we've seen great dominance from when the zone moved into downtown earlier, but unfortunately they couldn't repeat that, and they might be met by KM2. It's a good thing that Dardle went in a little bit further, but damage is being dealt as well by the zone. But Aspect will be going down, and the rest of the teams will need to leap out.
Well, to go back to the KM2, that's the narrative that you are going into earlier, that they're really having a great performances. But right now, it was a sandwich situation. You won't be able to survive longer. Same thing with the most wanted Civ, because he's out of the zone and used damage by the blue zone. And here we go, seeing Sekre trying to push in, attacking the squad. He is definitely brave. This is the one thing that they keep on showing. Individual prowess from the Rigid Esports. Though Lei being traded, he managed to survive using maybe a self-survival kit because he's back on his feet, but still having a complete squad, still trying to find some good intel on how are they going to really plan things out, executing, annihilating Immortals Esports.
Yeah, let's see though. Before they go in against Immortal Esports, Rigid might be going against Axis at this point. 12, I believe, was elimination for Rigid, or rather 15. I can't really remember. And Zekre putting a little bit of distraction and a potential backstab that can be done by the rest of Rigid. And there goes the hit. Xeno will be asked, who are you in this fight? For Zekre, he's trying to top up his armor as he go in for finisher against Mel. Now, Rigid Esports 16 elimination already. Still in a good spot to see a lot of opponents later on and put a jump on them. But for Blackfire, they are still in this bout. 4-man strong and might be seeing Immortal Esports from across.
Right, and checking out a map, we're only seeing few teams inside of the circle, so it's like they adjusted their gameplay, but still staying longer at the edge of the safe zone. And true enough, because we're seeing 4 Kings out here, Poison Ivy, earlier Immortals Esports, a lot of killer feed that we are seeing. Dardil being knocked down on the ground by the KM2. Same thing with Blackfire Luki fighting against Rinka, one of the best player, but Rinka caught off guard, is on the ground as well. But Blackfire trying to somehow prove that they got a better defense and position in fighting against Immortals Esports. That's going to be on the different side of this hill. And here we go, closing out the gap. Let's see if there will be any great outcomes. Losing the battle, KM2L saying goodbye. Already great positioning from the Blackfire close quarter battle. Rewind for the counter, knocking him down. Great job. And this is it. Apollo is also on the ground with the use of the Jack 12. Glue is also out there. Oh my god. And Asan and Rora from the VVV also losing the battle. Winter is on the ground. 4 Kings is clearly having a lot of actions. And Dre is about to say goodbye as well from the Asan, but also being caught off guard. A lot of engagement happening, brother. Let's see how it goes. How are we going to end this last match?
Final 3 team Tokyo about to see 1 player from Rigid, and Lei would take him down. Only 2 teams remain. A pickup has been done of 2 players off Blackfire, and the battle continues. It is potentially a 3v4, 3v3 situation. 3v4. Nash might be caught off guard. Into smoke he goes, and a lot of players from Rigid goes in for the push. 2v4 situation. Rigid, as you ask for it, they will be putting their name on the board if they manage to get all those eliminations. Berto will be taken down, and only 1 guy remains. And into the hill they go. Red might be seeing red, and Lei can be a caught off guard. Shockwave a little bit too late, and Slashy slash the life out of him, and Rigid takes that victory.
That's the power of call out, brother.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the power of call out. Rigid Esports getting the victory at the very end. That's the last match for the day 2. Congratulations, getting the rank 1 at the end of the isolated maps. Great job from the Rigid Esports as well. At first, they got a lot of great challenge, and clearly, after having difficulties, that's the time to where they get back into their drawing board, kind of like slow down a bit and, you know, changing their pacing so that they can be tactical whenever they need it. And true enough, we saw it earlier. In fact, in terms of position, fighting against Immortals Esports and Axis, if you remember earlier, from the lower ground, they went up to the hill and be crowned as the kings of the hill. And these are the highlights happening earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of trying to put themselves on the board, Rigid not only grabbed their second victory overall, but also maintain their lead against Blackfire, because earlier, because of the 2 victories that Blackfire has grabbed all throughout the day from first isolated as well as the blackout map, we were thinking that they will be able to overtake Rigid, but Rigid knows their current status in terms of elimination, in terms of points, and all they have to do right now is survive longer, fight against Blackfire, and well, they snuff out the fire out of Blackfire. Rigid Esports or Rigid TSG, winner of this match, and a huge amount of elimination with Slashy, a potential MVP.
Slashing it out with 10 kill points. And I love what I'm hearing from brother Neptune, because I'm part of the Rigid Esports, and I can say right now, live bias satellite. Slashy getting the 10 kill points and be crowned as MVP. Congratulations, getting the victory at the very end from the Rigid Esports. I don't want to say any more comments because this is live via satellite, you know.
Yeah, live via satellite. Well, anyways, I can't sell that, but I'm pretty sure you can buy as much. I can sell it. You can buy as much. But anyways, our Rigid right now, Slashy. It's not only Slashy that put in a dent on everyone else. We saw Stellar, Sekre, and Sekre was one of the frontliners who fall down much often in a fight and still managed to survive towards the end. Even Lei in there. We've seen Lei in the kill feed, not only the ones doing damage, but also receiving the damage. But this is why Isolated, the priority is bringing back your teammates as well as keeping them safe when they get back from the gulag. But in terms of elimination, in terms of points, I believe what Rigid has done today was the highest in this match, the highest record that we have for one match. I might be wrong, I might be able to review that later on, but 36 is a little bit too high, and if this happens on the grand finals, it brings them closer to activating that victory blitz, and they have the potential of ending one of the fastest grand finals in Call of Duty Mobile VR history,
which I'm expecting, because a lot of teams got 80 plus points already, so they know how to get to a point of 80 to where they will have a chance to be crowned as champion if they manage to be on the rank 1. And overall rankings that we are showing you already for the Group A, 4K still on top, 140. And not really a huge gap from Leap and Bound, but it's still a good scores from 4 Kings that we are seeing, and a great performances from OBS Main. As you see right off the bat, when we started the day 2, OBS Main got a good win. As you can see, that's the only win that they've got for the day 2, but they started strong, and they put them on the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. And also Delta Main. I mean, putting yourself in 4th place, despite of not getting any victory, is another record that we're seeing for a team. You saw the dominance on how well they can go for elimination. It's more of the survivability that they need to work on. And I couldn't really emphasize this enough on how much survivability and getting that victory, getting that win is important as they prepare themselves to go in onto the grand finals. But right now, let's head over and take a look at Group B, the match that we just witnessed. It is
Wow.
rigid TSG still in the top, still leaving Blackfire behind, but because of how close it was earlier from the beginning, even on towards the end of that game, it's only 20 points between them. So if early you did mention 30 plus is close enough, this is even closer. And the same goes with Blackfire and IE Exodus.
Yeah.
It's only 12 points between them, and then for the rest, that's where they are left out in dust. Poison Ivy. One reason why I'm asking them to really perform, show up, is because so that they can close the gap between them and those on the top three. But it seems like there's still a little bit more work to be done in terms of survivability.
A lot of work to be done, but if you remember earlier, you were calling out KM2 because of their performances.
Yep.
Right now, they managed to have a consistency in terms of elimination, and they're part of the top 10 teams that we have for Group B overall rankings. Great job for the KM2. It's great to see you guys performing well for this major tournament. Again, this is a September Cup. This is the first ever that we have this kind of major price pool, 1.4 in the
a long
Philippine
time.
peso. Yeah, in a
In
long
a
time.
long
So
time. Well, as you can
all
see,
you gotta do is take advantage of, right?
yeah, definitely. I'm giving all your support, not only for the team, but for the BR, the complete, the entire Call of Duty mobile battle royale community. Because again, if it wasn't for your help in really building this community for everyone, the team who's staying long enough, we wouldn't be here. Even for the content creators, even the shoutcasters, the OGs that has been there for a very long time. With all your support, we can make this great again, even greater, I would say, because of how much you are putting in terms of watching us as well as supporting your teammates. But well, that is it, Super Clark. That is 6 matches overall. I want to see more, but unfortunately we have to go in for the next day. So I'm expecting a few more changes by tomorrow, and also the 4th day of the group stage, because I want to see more of the team's brand on that victory board.
Let's see. I want to see a different. This time, I'll be the one saying I want to see a different team, because I keep on seeing some same logos at the at the end of each round. So let's see if there will be any different logos. I wanted to see the VVV. I wanted to see KM2. I want to see like the Poison Ivy. I don't see their logos on any map that we are playing to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if there's only a few adjustments that they can do, similar to what we've seen, like OBS, who did get one of victory. There's also a few teams like Blackfire, who their consistency on 2 of the maps, first isolated, as well as our first blackout mode for Group A, they managed to really put in, or rather Group B, Blackfire is part of Group B, managed to put in so much of effort in surviving, though it's not so much of elimination points, but at least they're getting the point, the basics of how it is in Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale, getting that victory, getting that #1 spot. And if you know how to do it towards the grand finals, you might be the third, the last to get that victory blitz eligibility. But if you get the next victory, then even if you're placed in the 5th, even if you're placed in the 4th place on the ranking, you might be the next champion.
So that's why this is kind of like a practice for them.
Yeah.
Like aiming to get the 80 points right away, and aiming after that being on rank 1. So even if they're on rank number 5, let's say the KM2, they're really on top 8. Let's say on the victory blitz they're eligible, like they got the 80 points, and then
Right.
on the next match they got the rank 1. Come on, man. A lot of fans will be disappointed to
Bro.
their fan favorite.
I mean,
Steve.
what's the point of getting a lot of elimination if you can't even win the game? Now, if
Right.
you're playing ranked, let me ask you, what are you aiming for? Getting a lot of elimination or getting that #1 spot? Isn't it? Isn't that the
Just
case?
the W.
Just
the
a W.
Yeah.
So that is the case. That is just the basic of the game. And we're bringing back that prestige of getting that win. But well, speaking of prestige, and as well as a lot of disappointment that might be happening, a lot of engagement and happenings has been done already. But this is the end of the day. Once again, I'm Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia, joined by the one and only Super Clark. We're going to say goodbye, good night, see you again next time.